Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are answering your YouTube questions. But if you are watching this on the replay, we put timestamps down in the description so you can quickly jump to whatever part of the stream that you want. And I encourage you to just sit back and listen because you're going to learn a bunch of stuff about YouTube if you do so. But when I say we are answering your YouTube questions, I mean myself and my brother from the same mother, D. D, how's it going? The one, the only legendary D. Nimmin in the house.
How was your week, everybody? Do we have YouTube news this week?
We absolutely do have some YouTube news, but what about you? How was your week?
I had a fantastic week.
Yeah?
I uploaded a new video talking about CapCut alternatives.
Okay. Yeah, I shared that one in my feed.
You did share that.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
For a CapCut alternative, I did group some of them together. That's not an all-inclusive list, but it's something to get going.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. Yeah, those options are important right now as people are looking for solutions for that.
Yeah, so I learned a little bit of a lesson when researching that video.
Okay.
Read through the terms and services of all these things that you're agreeing to, all these tools and the software. You're going to be shocked to find out how many tools and services are trying to get access to our data.
What kind of stuff did you run into?
Just things where they're wanting rights. They're wanting rights to varying degrees. I mean, everybody's harvesting data, but like varying degrees where they just want it, some collect nothing, but some want, hey, we might use it in our advertising, and then some are like, yeah, we just want worldwide rights to use it in perpetuity however we see fit.
Oh wow.
And if you use this, we got you.
We got you. Yeah.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah. So yeah, read that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so we do have some YouTube news as well. So when it comes to YouTube news, the first thing that I do want to mention is that there is a rumor going around right now that AI channels are going to be cooked, essentially claiming that this clarification that YouTube is adding to one of their policies is going to make it to where it's going to be impossible to upload anything AI related or impossible to do reaction videos, things like that. There's all kinds of weird rumors going around. I've seen a few different videos where people have kind of taken this out of context. However, Team YouTube mentioned that when it comes to this, that to clarify, this is a minor update to our long-standing YouTube partner program policies to allow us to better identify when content is mass-produced or repetitive. This type of content has already been ineligible for monetization for years and is content viewers often consider spam.
Yeah, let me just say really quick that source, Dexerto, they're not necessarily known for their accuracy.
Right.
So
well, they posted that on Twitter, and then
somebody grabbed it and ran with it.
Well, I don't know if it was that or people on Reddit, because you know how something shows up on Reddit and people just go hog wild with it.
Right.
So I think that it could be either
they
or.
Picked it up
Somebody picked it up, and then somebody started the thing basically saying that it's over for AI related channels, and if you're doing anything with AI, blah blah. So there's all kinds of weird videos about that, all kinds of different Reddit posts or conversations happening about it as well. But I just want to let you know that that is not the case, and if you are using AI in your content for something, or if you're somebody that makes good content using AI, you're okay as long as it's original content. They're just kind of adding definitions to it and making it more clear for people to understand.
Let's talk about that, because what you just said didn't really clarify things. So what exactly?
Well, they're updating it. They haven't updated it yet.
They're updating
so I don't know exactly what they're going to say, but Team YouTube said that it's just a clarification is all it is.
Okay, so they're going to clarify the types of content.
Right.
AI slop could be in there,
right?
But it's not like, oh, we're coming after AI content. That's the misinformation that came out.
If the AI slop is in there, it's already not monetized.
It's already monetized,
right?
So
because what they say right here is they say that this type of content has already been eligible for monetization for years.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's already to where like anybody that's going to be impacted by that is already been impacted by that.
You've already been impacted.
Yeah, so it's nothing new is coming. But this isn't even going to apply to most people. But because you might see some stuff around the internet about it, I just wanted to make sure that you do know, that you do know what's going on there. Now, in addition to that,
be warned as the videos start coming out, because if they're not already out already,
they are.
YouTube has just done a huge algorithm update. It's going to start It's going to start penalizing whatever.
Yeah. Watch the end so you don't lose your channel.
Yeah. Just beware.
Yeah.
There's YouTube slop in addition to AI slop.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
So next up, new advanced mode analytics is now available inside of your Creator Studio. So when it comes to advanced mode analytics, they have redesigned how everything is in there. There's a lot of things that are still the same, but basic navigation, that is different. And they've also added a cool feature where Like, let's say, for example, at the channel level, you always go in and you always check traffic sources, right? Then in that particular case, you can set that view, and then instead of having to go and navigate to it every time, you can just go and select that view, that custom view that you've saved. You can select that from the drop down and just go straight there. If you're doing some type of comparison, you can also save that view, and then you can just go in and change the videos when you need to, that kind of stuff. So it makes it a little bit easier to be able to jump back into what it was that you were looking at, or if you have repetitive things that you look at, now you can do that a lot more efficiently as well. In addition to that, YouTube is rolling out a new audience segment feature in YouTube Analytics as well. This is a screenshot from the Creator Insider's YouTube video. And basically with this, they are showing new viewers like they've done in the past. But instead of just showing you the returning viewers, you can see right down here in the bottom that they're showing you casual viewers. They've defined casual viewers as people that are watching occasionally for 1 to 5 months in the last 12 months. And then regular viewers are people that have consistently watched for 6 or more months in the last 12 months. And one thing that they did clarify, if when you get this feature, if you see that your regular viewers are really low, they tried to make an emphasis in that video that that it's normal for that to happen, and that in order to hit the high amount of regular viewers, often people have to be publishing a lot of content and things like that for people to just continually keep interacting with the channel. So just wanted to let you know about that. And
where's that supposed to be found?
That is going to be in your quick mode or your quick version of your analytics.
Okay.
In the audience tab.
Okay.
And then they also have the most relevant comment filter in your comments. Like, this one isn't huge, but for this particular one, it just helps you more easily find and engage with important comments. And I'm not sure what they use to deem one comment more important than the other one, but I'm sure they're using AI or something in the background that is helping them sort that so that you can quickly get to comments that might be, more important according to them. And in additional news, I just want to give you a quick reminder on Opus Clip contest. We're down to 11 days now. So if you're not familiar with this particular contest, I'm just going to pull up the page here for you really quick so you can see it. But with this contest with Opus Clip, they're giving content creators the ability to win $5,000 and a MacBook Pro. And also you have me on the list as well for a consulting session with myself.
Nice.
For this, there's going to be one person that wins that big thing there. And then you're also going to get some Opus Clip swag with that also, but they also have a Rising Visionary version, which they're going to give 3 winners. With this one, you get Nomadic Bags, which is a bag making company that targets content creators, $200 in cash, and an Opus Clip swag. And then everybody that participates in this contest is also going to get 5 hours of free credits with Opus Clip, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So for this, I'm going to just go ahead and drop the link here into the chat. And if you are...
Drop it like it's
there
hot.
we go. So if you are interested in that, then make sure that you go and you check that out as well, because again, we're down to 11 days on that particular contest. And then finally, when it comes to YouTube news, if you are currently using the new Creator app, the title tool that we talked about and showcased last weekend, that tool is now available inside of your app. It's pretty awesome, getting some great feedback on that. And if you are not currently using it, this app will help you manage and grow your YouTube channel. You can find this at newcreator.app, like you can see right here at the front, or you can just click the link at the top of the comments right now and go check it out and get it installed. But it is an iPhone app, and it's got a bunch of helpful tools for you in there as a content creator. You're going to get tons of value out of it. So that's it for the news. D?
That's it.
Yep, that's it for the news.
That was a lot of news. You're all caught up.
Yep.
You know what's really happening now with the YouTube update.
Yeah. And really quick,
the analytics update.
Yep.
Welcome.
And really quick, a new member. I was just checking the audio meters for the sound effect, but we got a new member, Drift Off to History. Welcome to the Niminati. Make sure when you get the chance, if you are somebody that uses Facebook, we have a members-only Facebook group that you can get to by going to Nimin. I'm putting it on the screen right here. By going to niminvip.com. If you type that in, it's going to redirect you to the group. Fill out all the information on the way in, and then we will get you in there after the stream is over. And we also have a Discord as well. So if you are a member, and as long as you're connected to Discord with the same channel that you're a member, then the group there will show up as well.
There you go. We have questions already?
We do. And we're going to hop into those right here in just a second, as soon as I get my screen back together here.
We're here answering questions today.
Yep.
First come, first serve.
Yeah, and also really quick on the, I guess I don't have to read that policy, but I had a page pulled up here for reading that policy for the update that they're going to make.
Okay.
But basically, it just says, in order to monetize as part of the YouTube Partner Program, YouTube has always required creators to upload original and authentic content. On July 15th, 2025, YouTube is updating our guidelines to better identify mass-produced and repetitive content, repetitious content. The update better reflects what inauthentic content looks like today. So that's the word.
Oh, for those of you in the United States, hope you had a good 4th of July.
Yeah, happy 5th of July.
Happy 5th of July.
Yeah.
I hope you also have your fingers.
The day after.
The day after.
Yeah, remember that movie, The Day After?
Do you know what's crazy?
Yeah. What?
At least once a month, I think about that movie.
Do you really? I had
movie,
nightmares. That scared me. That scared me so bad.
That movie haunted me.
Yeah.
So what happens is, I think anytime I like catch some news and they're like, oh, this country's nuclear, whatever, I think it just kind of like triggers some The Day After movie. Yeah. And I think about what an amazing, like of all the stuff they're remaking.
Yeah.
And they're talking
that'd be a good one.
They're talking about doing a reboot of Indiana Jones now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What's this world coming to?
Yeah, I don't know. But they're doing all this stuff. They're redoing like what Cinderella and Snow White and Indiana Jones, and they're going to redo.
But you're like, hey, bring in some Day After.
Bring in the Day After and make it horrific. Make it absolutely terrifying, like the original was. That's what we want to see in 2026.
Yeah.
They need to get on it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. iPhone Chris, thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate it.
Super chat.
Come in.
So,
don't touch Indiana Jones. That's right.
Yeah, I support this message.
They're going
here.
to.
Yep. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, let's get into some YouTube questions. If this is your first time here, how this whole thing works with the questions is we are here to answer any questions that you have about being a content creator. We've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for over 10 years. D, somewhere around he's over 7. Not sure exactly how close to 8, but he's over 7. Yeah, just for YouTube. But he's been making content for a long time.
YouTube, right?
So, when it comes to the questions, all you have to do is there's a form down in the description, or you can go to nicknimmin.com/ask, and it will redirect you to this form, and then you can just put your question in there and just fill out all the information there so that I have more context when I'm answering the question, so I can make sure that the answer to that question applies to you specifically. Because one of the things that happens when it comes to watching videos is you might hear information, but it's not necessarily catered to you. In this case, this is the opportunity to have all of the information that you're hearing catered directly to you. So again, you can put that your questions down on the form that is down in the description, or go to nicknimmin.com/ask.
There you go. Let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. Yep. So the very first question that we have here on the list is The Honored. The Honored uploads when they have time, but on YouTube for less than 1 year. They have a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is to have fun. And the question is, if making a thumbnail the key to make the video clickable? It's just one of the elements. So when it comes to making a video clickable, there's a bunch of stuff really, but like the core things are the thumbnail itself, the title itself, and the topic of the video. Those are huge. But other things impact it too. Like for example, the autoplay, when somebody hovers over it, if they're like, oh, this grabbed my attention, like what's going on in this video? If they hover over it and they see something that they don't like, then in that case, they might not click on it. Or if they see something they do, then they might click on it. Other things, like if it shows up on a home page and they see a lot of views on it and it's relevant to something they care about, they might click on it because of that. Sometimes it's the creator, to where, hey, I watch that person, so I'm going to, click on that. All these things are factors. But the thumbnail is a very core part of getting people to click on your videos. But it's like topic, thumbnail, title, right? Because the
package.
The topic is like the most important, because your thumbnail and title are basically just representing what the video is about. And sometimes your thumbnail can be great and your title can be good, but the topic of the video isn't something that a lot of people are, that interested in. But that's just what happens on the outside. And then once you get all that stuff worked out, then if somebody clicks on the video because you did come up with a great topic, you did make a good thumbnail, and you do have a good title, then in that case, when they come into the video itself, how people enjoy that video based on all the things that YouTube tracks there is also going to dictate the overall performance of that video also. So there's a lot of moving parts, and you have to get good at all of the moving parts in order to be able to consistently publish content that gets views over time.
And you have to be making videos that people are interested in to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep. Melinda Elliott, thank you for your support over the last 31 months. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's a big piece of it. It's just like, okay, like what can I make a video about that's going to reach the largest amount of people that are interested in this subject? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, and I see this happen a lot, and there's nothing wrong with this, by the way, but you have to manage your expectations. If you are incredibly niche, like the thing that you're making videos about is so just insanely specific. Let's come up with a very specific thing. Let's say you're making videos for, let's come up with something very specific.
Okay.
Amputees.
Fishing in Lake of the Ozarks.
Fishing, yeah, but fishing's kind of a broad thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going more specific than that?
Yeah. I'm just trying to
How
really
to make sound panels.
How to make sound panels. There you go. How to make sound.
How to injection mold sound panels.
How to do injection mold.
Yeah, because then it's
panels.
not just making it. Now you got to have an injection molder.
Right.
Yeah, in order to care about that.
Right. So the more niche you are, the fewer people are going to be interested in it.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So if you can reframe things to give it a more broad appeal, that's going to increase the likelihood that more people are going to like it. Yeah, right. Wiggy says D's about to get real niche. I'm like, all right, so you got amputees.
I know. That's why I was like, all right, that's yeah.
I was going to be like, okay, amputees who build sound panels for other amputees. Yeah. I was going to go.
Goodness. All right, so next up on
audience of 4.
Next up, we've got Wiggy the Chess Man. What's going on, dude? Hope you are doing great. They upload 1 time per week or more, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do tutorials, reviews, and gameplay content. The goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is, do unlisted videos count towards watch hours? I want to upload 1 video and have a follow-up video linked to the end screen. However, keep it unlisted for a few days before releasing it to a public. No, that's not going to count. So what counts is when people interact with it when it is public. So if you have a bunch of people interacting with it before it goes live, then that's not going to count. It doesn't count. Nothing counts until it starts going public, with the exception of copyright claims and like guidelines violations, because those types of things can be detected when you're uploading the video, so those do count, immediately. But when it comes to like the data that's being collected on your video from viewers, nothing matters really. I mean, you'll see like the view counts change, but nothing matters or counts towards monetization or anything like that until the video goes live or public.
Public, yeah.
Yep. And then they say here, watch hours are naturally very important for my unmonetized channel, and I'd prefer to be 1 video ahead and have viewers watch unlisted videos through the end screens if it appeals to them. But I don't want to do it at the risk of losing watch hours. Will making it public unlock those watch hours that were gained during the unlisted period? Nope. So yeah, it only counts once everything is live. So if you have it unlisted and I watch your video, it doesn't count. If you make it public and then I watch your video, then it'll count that watch time. So even if it's a minute apart. Right, it's if it's not listed or if it's unlisted or if it's public. So because of that, in your case, maybe you want to send people to videos that you currently have live in the end screen until it does go public, because YouTube is also removing the feature that a lot of people used to use in this situation, to where they would say something at the end of the video, and then they would be able to edit it out in YouTube's video editor, and then they would put it back in, and then people were using that to update those types of things when they had the video ready and all that. But they're removing that feature, so you don't want to get dependent on that either. So because of that, I would just send them to content that's already been published on the channel.
That's a weird one, I think, to remove.
Yeah, it's probably just usage and maintenance and like all that stuff. Probably, like, I don't know, but it could be that kind of thing in terms of like, okay, at scale, how many people are using this? Maybe it's just not enough for them to want it. I don't know. No idea. Yeah. Or maybe just the maintenance of it, or yeah, who knows? Because they got to pay people to, make sure it works, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, or something better is coming.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, man, I can't believe that they don't have just like a full-blown built-in editor.
A full-blown.
Yeah, it's like you're the largest video platform on the planet. You should have a full-blown editor that people can use, either as software like Facebook has done, where they have their app that you can use, or they should just have it built right into YouTube, to where you can just go in and you can do everything that you need to do. Like, that would make sense, because they're building in these cool tools. Like, they have a tool now in the inspiration tab where it can help you with your hooks of your videos.
Okay,
they have things
I'm glad you brought that
in the
up.
inspiration tab to help you just kind of know what videos that you can make. They generate some like thumbnail ideas for you and stuff like that. So they're doing all this like really cool stuff over here, but they're missing the biggest elephant in the room unless they're working on it in the back end.
I want to say this. I was experimenting with exactly that. And I was looking at the inspiration area. And I was looking at all of the thumbnails that they were generating. 100% of them were garbage.
Yeah.
So, again, and this was an important thing. And I wish... And there could be a note in there or a little thing that I didn't catch. But this is the importance, once again, of learning what works and what doesn't work instead of just relying completely on AI or tools that do it for you without understanding why things work and why things don't work. Because the messaging that I got, and it's cool. I mean, they're helping you brainstorm and come up with ideas and hooks and the structure, and I think that's great. But when it came to the thumbnails, I was thinking to myself, you know, if somebody didn't know better, here's YouTube making thumbnails for me. These should probably be good thumbnails.
Oh, yeah.
And they were absolutely just terrible thumbnails.
yeah.
Like, it didn't even make sense. And I was like, that's really bad.
Yeah.
So there needs to be either clarification in there about what those thumbnails are doing, or you need to put in the work and learn what makes a thumbnail effective.
Yeah.
But if you're only relying on that, currently YouTube is leading you astray on that particular feature for the thumbnails. Everything else is cool.
Yeah.
Hook ideas.
Yeah, it's
and,
cool.
You know, the
it gives
layout
you like
ideas.
a starting point, like
It
the stuff
gives you
to
a
think
starting
about.
point.
Yeah, it's great.
It gives you a starting point. Thumbnails, drop the ball.
Yep.
They
Yeah,
need a
when it
better
comes
prompt.
when it comes to their YouTube Create that they put out, I think that like a year or so ago. With that, Doug mentioned that it is coming to iOS at some point. Yeah, they need it like built into YouTube, and they need something kind of like CapCut, right? To where it's like, hey, you can just download it and then just put it to use like right on your computer.
Yeah.
Like they need to make that available everywhere for all the creators. Like talk about being a video editing company and being like, oh my gosh. YouTube is coming after this. Even their Create is like a really basic, tool.
Right.
They need like something full functioning like CapCut, so that people can go in there and do all the cool stuff and the fun stuff. And they've already got some of the functionality, with like filters and stuff like that in YouTube Shorts. So they could probably bring some of that stuff in there.
If YouTube rolled out a decent enough editor, doesn't have to be a Final Cut Pro or DaVinci, but just good enough for the average YouTuber.
Yeah.
A lot of these editing companies would fold.
Yeah, they
because
would.
people wouldn't need them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be room for like professional,
Sure.
Final Cut Pro.
Yeah, if you're like
Premiere,
doing like, hey, I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah,
So I'm
right.
gonna use this other stuff.
Right. But for the I would say 80% of the people making content on YouTube, maybe 90% of the people making content on YouTube, talking head stuff, product shot. You're not doing like cinematic.
Right.
Even then.
No.
Even then, you could probably.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's within the footage itself, not necessarily what happens in the editing software.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of like, can you cut? Can you edit? Transition here, there? Can you put titles on it? Can you color grade it? Can you add LUTs? Filters? You're good to go.
So next up,
get on it, YouTube.
we've got Learn Spanish World. What's going on, man? Hope you are doing great, doing educational content. The goal is to quit his job and be a full-time content creator. And the question is, I noticed that the community tab has appeared on my channel today, but it's currently turned off. Could you please explain what it is exactly? Would it be a good idea to turn it on? I remember you guys spoke about it, but can't remember what it's about. So what you can do is on your phone, you can actually turn it on there by just visiting your channel and then going into community there. But with that particular tool, so I had it live on my channel for a little bit, and it was cool. Like, I was asking questions about, posting screenshots in there and, that kind of stuff. And, some people participated and it was cool. But the way that I started looking at that is like, man, okay, so now I have this other thing that I got to monitor in terms of, I got to check in, make sure nobody's posting anything that they shouldn't be posting in there and that kind of stuff. And it kind of created that extra, layer of work. And then also like right after that initial thing, and I mean, this is my fault for not asking people to participate more, but after that initial kind of activity in there, then people just started using it less and less. Now, on your channel, people might use it more. I'm not sure, but it's definitely something you can experiment with. And also, vidIQ, who does a lot of experiments with things because they're putting out content at scale and they can get information really fast. They put out a video talking about how when they had it activated, it limited the reach on their community posts because they have posts going out every single day.
That's crazy.
And as soon as they activated it, they kind of took a hit on the reach that those posts were getting. I just want you to know that that information is out there too. I don't know if YouTube has patched that. I don't know if the experiment was done in a way that was going to yield like, real result. Like I have no idea. I was not involved in that in any way, but I just wanted to let you know that they did put that out. So it's just something to consider or maybe look more into. But, I think experimenting with it and seeing if your community is into it is definitely something to consider because I think that, it is something that people can have fun with, but, it is something else that you're going to have to manage. But, that might not be a bad thing, right? Like you might be like, hey, that's fine. I actually want to manage the fact that I have people interacting with my community. That's a win, right? So it's definitely something you experiment with, and you can turn it off at any time. So if you activate it and you are using it, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is awesome, then just keep it on. If you're using it and you're like, I don't know, then in that particular case, then you can just go ahead and turn it off.
Have you seen any good use case scenarios where somebody is using it in a creative way?
Not yet. No,
not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah,
but I haven't ran across anything yet. Yeah, like in his case, right? Like, let's brainstorm here really quick.
Okay.
So some things you could do because people can make posts in there,
right.
And I mean, you could kind of do this in your community feed right now before you even have that feature in terms of asking people for feedback and that type of thing. But you could also do things to where, since you are teaching people Spanish, to where maybe you could still do this in your regular one, to where
That's
you
right.
post something and then they have them answer it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
the only difference would be if they were posting images from somewhere. So like in your case, I'm not sure. Yeah, like the best use case for that. Any ideas?
Maybe because they can post videos too, right? And like pictures.
They can do images.
They can do images.
Yeah. Yeah, images and text.
For language, I'm not sure unless he's doing testing them.
Yeah.
Doing like, hey, what's this? Write this out or whatever.
Yeah, you can do that kind of stuff with polls and stuff like that in the.
But they can't
post now.
But if they have to submit something like in writing.
Oh yeah, you could do that. Have them like writing stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so take a picture of this but they could just type it out on the keyboard in a comment. Same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Unless he was specifically working on their handwriting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. Not
That's
sure.
weird. Unless you're teaching like Mandarin Chinese, where you've got to get that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those features where I looked at it. They're like, "Oh, you can use this now," and I looked at it and went and learned about it, and I was like, "No, that's kind of dumb." But that doesn't mean, that's just my view of it.
Sure.
Might be limited. I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Conceptually, I think it's cool. Conceptually,
yeah.
Like for example,
idea
in our case,
there.
one of the things that that we could do to be more active with it, like if I were to turn it back on, is having people like, hey, what were your stats this month? Drop screenshots of your stats and things like that, and then that would help other people, which was kind of what I was doing with the original few posts in there, was just kind of helping people understand, kind of what normal is, because people don't really know, right? So just kind of being like, hey, here's a bunch of information, and you can look at this to kind of gauge where you're at and how things are going for you. So those types of things are definitely a way that you can use it, but I'm not sure how that's going to apply to everyone.
Yeah, that's what Doug said. He says, I don't think viewers are trained to find it and know when and how to post it.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. That was kind of my take on it too. I guess it's really weird.
Yeah.
Like the idea is,
well, I think
like
it's also just new, but like I think it's cool because like the thing that I do like about it and why I was excited about it initially is that if you do come up with cool stuff that will get your community engaged, then you can turn it into something really fun, right? To where there's a lot of interaction going back and forth, and then that gives viewers a chance to interact with their creator, and then that gives creators the chance to interact with the viewer. So I think just I think that it can be fun. Like Chantel here says, treating it like a Facebook group, right, with like regular conversation starters and things like that. Yeah, that might be an approach.
Yeah.
Prius Brent Goldie is our next question here. They upload one time per week or more. They do car camping in a Toyota Prius. The goal of the channel is to quit their job and be a full-time content creator. And the question is, I'm getting a lot of impressions on my videos. Well, I'm getting a lot of impressions on my videos, but my click-through rate is really low. How can I improve that? So when it comes to the click-through rate in your thumbnails, there's a few things to think about. So when it comes to your click-through rate, the topic of the video impacts it, the thumbnail impacts it, and your title impacts it. So it might not necessarily be the thumbnail. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are taking the approach of, does my thumbnail... I'm actually going to look at your channel here really quick so I can just make sure I'm giving you information you can use here. Okay, so like this one, like 5 days ago, like Elvis is in the building in Canada. Like that's okay. And if somebody were to run across that, then they might find that interesting. But trying to make it a little bit more enticing in terms of this Elvis impersonator was almost better than Elvis, or things like that. To make it just a little bit more interesting from the outside, and then The one before that, you say Chrome takes over the channel, and you say Chrome for Van City Life takes over our channel. And it looks like this one actually did okay. But for this one, this is great for people that know you and for know him. But when it comes to people that don't know either of you yet, you're kind of limiting yourself by making the video about him specifically, right? So those types of things are also kind of restrictive, because what you're doing there is you're making it to where it's relevant to a group of people like this, where you could make it, you know, where it's relevant to more people by not like name dropping in there. And then here you have eggs in the fridge in Canada. Yeah, like on that particular one, also like no real context, no information about what's going on, what somebody can expect from that video. It's literally just eggs in a refrigerator. So, you know, like, again, just thinking at scale, like, okay, so for somebody that is getting presented that video, like why would that be important to them enough to click on it and want to commit time to that particular video, while YouTube is also showing on that person's homepage or mobile feed, wherever it is they're seeing that video, showing them everything else that they also think that person might be interested in. So you just got to make sure that you are thinking about it, like, you know, how is this video going to grab somebody's attention? How is the topic? Is this something that people care about? And when it comes to the title itself, like how is this thumbnail and title going to compel somebody to be like, oh, this is definitely something I want to check out? What are you going to say, D?
I'm not looking at the channel. Yeah. So my question to you is, I'm a little bit confused here. Do they have content about Prius? About the car? No,
so there's no. It says "Storm in a Transit Van" is the name of the channel, and like there's nothing about the Prius thing in here. I think they were just telling us that information.
Okay, well, well that's it. I'm curious why that information felt relevant to them. And
got it.
It just made me wonder if they are kind of thinking in the wrong, you know, because that's important to them because they told you about it, and I'm wondering if that reflects in their channel in any way.
Got it.
That was my question.
Got it.
So I'm wondering how that's relevant to the channel.
Got it. Yeah, I don't see anything on here. Prius. There might be something, but I don't see it. But also, just you know, one more thing, just to bring it to your attention, is, you know, with this type of content that you're making, it's also helpful to just make sure that you're thinking about, like, we're sharing our experiences, but we're sharing our experiences with people on the internet. And if we want people to just watch one video, then we can make it about anything that we want. But if we want people to keep coming back to the channel, then we need to think about, okay, what type of theme could we have with the channel? Currently, the theme is that you are in a transit van, but in terms of the theme that, in terms of the value that people are going to get out of your content, trying to come up with some type of theme to where if somebody watches your bald eagle carnage at feeding time, that they would also want to watch the egg video. And then they would also want to watch this Chrome van life takeover. And then they would also want to watch this Elvis in the building thing, right? So it's more about making sure that the content decisions that you're making are in alignment with things that a certain type of viewer cares about, so that if they do watch one video and then they go and explore your channel, you have an entire channel full of content that person's likely to go and binge watch, right? So I would definitely work on the theme of the channel and how that theme is relevant to a particular type of viewer. And that's a really common thing when it comes to YouTube. You know, like just as an example, how my channel is about all things related to YouTube, right? So with that, my target is people that are YouTube content creators. There's more specifics than that, but you know, in a nutshell, you know, if you're a YouTube content creator, you can get value out of my channel and you can go binge watch a bunch of videos on my channel. So finding a theme like that, to where if you're interested in these types of things, then I've got a whole channel about these types of things, right? It's kind of the idea.
These types of things.
And he says right here that he's never been to Canada. Oh, he says that's not his channel. Oh, I was looking at something completely different. Hold on.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the link that I got in your... Oh, okay, yeah, that's the link that I got here in the message. So yeah, sorry about that.
Would they paste the?
Yeah,
wrong...
I think they just pasted the wrong link.
That's
okay,
hilarious.
next up on the list here.
All of that for a wrong channel.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm like this and this and this, and they're like, no, that's not my stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna pull up the channel. We're gonna do a deep dive here into this channel.
Oh, it's good. So we're
off to a good start,
right? So the next channel is Jabari's Fitness channel. They upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do health and fitness content. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, can you critique my hooks and give me advice? Also, how can I make my titles and thumbnails better? So I can't critique your hooks because I would need to watch your videos for that, and I can't do that here on stream. Technically, I could go in and go through the transcripts, but I can't hear any details, right? Like I can't hear how you're saying what you're saying. I just know that you say those words, and that's not really enough. So
but you can tell them how to critique their own hooks.
So
the audience retention, you can tell them how to do
yeah,
that.
sure. But in terms of me doing it, yeah, that's not something I can do here in the stream. But in terms of making your thumbnails and titles better, I'm just going to take a really quick glance and see what it is that you're doing.
You can take a gander.
A gander, yep. Okay. And I got the Prius channel here too. Thanks, Doug, for that link. Oh, okay, yeah, I think we pulled you up. We pulled you up here last week.
The Prius?
So no, the other channel, the fitness channel here.
Okay.
Yeah, so in terms of your title, like my $500 gym tour, I'm just going to do one video here really quick. So a $500 gym tour, that's okay, and it can get views on it. But right now you don't have like any like at a small size, you can't really see much of the equipment that you have in your gym. So maybe putting all of that stuff and kind of staging the shot, putting all of that stuff in one spot, zooming in, taking a nice big, photo of that so that it's just crystal clear, that that's what it is. Or picking, one particular thing and then pulling that into the middle of the room, taking a nice up close photo of that, something like that. You just kind of stage it a little better so it just comes out to be a more clear image. I would start with that. And then when it comes to the $500 home gym tour, that's okay. But thinking about, can I make this also for the viewer, might be something to consider here, where instead of having your title as my $500 home gym tour, which right now you're just getting going, so there's going to be a smaller amount of people that will care about your personal, gym tour. There'll be some people, right? But in terms of that scale, that's not going to be of high interest to people. So in that case, how to make a home gym for under $500, there's a lot more instant value attached to that in terms of perception from the outside, in terms of what somebody might get out of that particular video. So when you are packaging up your videos, all of this starts like a huge thing that people overlook when it comes to YouTube is things like that, is if you can think about your packaging in terms of your thumbnail and title before you commit to making your video, then it allows you space to make decisions like that, right? To where you can say, okay, if I'm going to do a $500 home gym video, then in that particular case, what am I going to show in the thumbnail? Okay, if this is what I'm going to show in the thumbnail, then and this is what my title is going to be, then how can I take this title and make it more appealing to a larger amount of people? So I have my gym thing, and that's okay. Some people will be interested in that. But if I want to make it appeal to a lot of people and maybe even show up in search or something like that, or just show people that they can have a low cost gym, then in that case, maybe I should frame the whole thing around that. And then once you do, and that from the outside through the packaging, then you can say, okay, well, now that it's time to make the video, I know that I'm using this in the thumbnail, and I know this is the promise of the video, the how to do a $500 or under $500 home gym. So therefore, let me make sure that as soon as the video starts, I'm like, hey, I'm going to show you how to make a home gym under $500, or you don't have to spend tons of money on a home gym in order to stay in shape. I'm going to show you in this video how to do it for under $500, something like that. But that gives you the space that you need in order to help your retention, which you were talking about your hooks. That gives you the space that you need in order to make sure that you're meeting their expectation when they come into the video, and make a video that's more, focused towards them.
Notes for me to use: says I started my channel in April. I'm finally up to 51 subscribers. I'm learning.
Nice.
I'm 75.
Nice. Getting there. Love it. Love
75
it. Congratulations.
years old.
Heading in the right direction.
75 years old.
Nice.
On YouTube.
Nice.
I love it.
Love it.
Yeah, congratulations. Keep going.
Yep.
Super chat.
Tube Spanner, thanks for the super chat.
Did you hit that? Or
yeah, I got it. Says
now, are
we
you
just
gonna
started
hit those, or am I going to hit those?
Yep, you can hit them. Yep, but when you're slow, I'm like hitting them anyway.
Okay.
So it says we just started a fishing channel. It's doing great, and it's because of all the strong lines with hooks attached that reel people in. Got it.
Mine's better.
Yeah, got it.
Mine's better. Hey, Stanley.
Oh, what's going on, Danielle? Hope you're doing great. Shark Scrapper in the house. What's up, dude? So next up on the list here, we've got, we did Jabari's Fitness already. So next up, we have Real Deck Gaming. They upload every other day. They do IRL gambling channel. The goal is to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, a lot of videos take off.
I think the goal would be a full-time gambler.
Oh, for that one? Yes. That'd be
like YouTuber gambler. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I think I would go for gambling.
Yeah. So the channel for this one is Real Deck Gambling. They upload every other day. Been on YouTube for a year or more. And the question is, a lot of our videos take off the first day and then completely flatline or very slow growth. If it takes off, why would YouTube not show it more? So the way that YouTube works is it shows your videos to different groups of people over time. So when you first publish your videos, YouTube is showing your content to the people that are a laser perfect fit for your video, in terms of those are the people that are watching content similar to yours or searching for topics around yours, watching channels like yours, all of those things. Those are the people that see it first. And because those people are such a perfect fit for the video, those are the people that are the most likely to respond well to it. And because of that, it's very common on YouTube to have, when you first publish your video, everything looks great. And then over time, it gets harder and harder to maintain those nice, strong numbers, because your videos start going in front of people that are not necessarily a laser targeted fit like that first group, but they're a really good fit. And then from there, they're a pretty good fit. And then from there, they're interested in this and they're watching some stuff, but they might not be a slam dunk when it comes to this particular video, but they're going to show it to them anyway to see if they like it. And then that whole process just gets kind of rinsed and repeated over time. And that's why when you first publish your videos, that it's common to get, some traction there, and then they kind of die off. However, what can happen is you have that initial surge, and also at that time, keep in mind that YouTube is testing your video against people too. So because of that, you're getting people in there. But what can also happen is once you start getting into those groups that aren't that perfect laser fit, but are still interested in the topic, then in that case, you are probably not competing in the additional groups against the other content that they have the option to watch. Because remember, YouTube's showing content to people that they're interested in, and that covers all kinds of different things. So because of that, when you publish your videos, if they start, kind of dying off, then either one, it's just the life cycle of that video and people stop responding well to it, or two, it just became not competitive against the other videos that YouTube is showing your content, the other videos that the people that YouTube is showing your content to are watching.
Grabbing a question out of the chat really quick before you move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Taha Yildirim, apologies if I didn't get your name correct there, asks, does adding a video without adding a thumbnail cause a decrease in the rate? Is it important? Yeah, think of it this way. I don't know if you watch YouTube as a consumer. I don't know if you watch Netflix or Apple TV or any of that. But imagine if you logged into Netflix or you opened up YouTube. In a world without Netflix, right? You open up Netflix or you opened up YouTube and you were looking for something to watch and there were no images to choose from. There were only titles. It might make it more difficult for you to make a decision to find something to watch. Graphically, that's why Netflix and Apple TV and Hulu and all, they spend tons of money finding different ways to get people to click in on these videos. I know Netflix goes through periods where they do A/B testing on they're known popular movies, but they still
they're constantly doing that.
And they still do testing on the thumbnails, even though they are popular movies, trying to find the best thumbnail for you that might get you to click on that, because the graphics are important. Now, thumbnails are not the full answer, right? It's a package. The topic, what your video is about, the title, what you say the video is about, or what you write in there to get the viewer's attention, and the thumbnail, those all work together. So if you were to leave one of them out, you're missing part of the package. Now, does that mean you have to make some fancy thumbnail with text and do all this stuff? No. Sometimes just a single, simple picture can do the job, but that picture needs to properly represent what the image or the video is about, or it needs to add some element of curiosity or interest to where somebody's like, oh, okay, I'm interested in that. I want to see more of that. So you definitely want to choose something to put in there, even if it's a single picture, and that picture should be representative of what the video is about or builds curiosity or some sort of an element to let the viewer know. If you're scrolling on your phone, that image is likely going to catch their attention before anything else. So that image should be something that would stop your potential viewer from scrolling and at least pause to look at it and ideally tap on it, click in and watch as a package. So yeah, learn how to make a thumbnail, even if it's just choosing the right single picture.
Yeah. And really quick, one more thing I also want to answer out of the chat here, just because this is a really important thing for people to know. But Davidson's All Natural Gym asked K and J Lumber, what do you mean by traffic sources? So I'm going to show you here on an old channel. This is a channel that I kind of first cut my teeth on YouTube. And here, if you go into your advanced mode analytics, I mean, technically you can see just like a quick view of your traffic sources in your quick view. But at the channel level, if you go into your advanced mode, you can scroll down here and you can see where your views are coming from on YouTube. And this just gives you insights into, okay, like in this case, you can see that I'm still getting search views on this channel and a little bit of external views, some suggested views, a tiny bit of browse views on this. But when it comes to the actual video page itself, this is where this gets really helpful, because here, and I'm just going to go into here and go into advanced mode, and I'm just going to, in this case, I'm going to make this longer, just so you can kind of get an idea, so we can have some actual information here. But over on the left, and by the way, this is the new analytics that you guys all have now, by the way. But over here, under this breakdown area, if I come here and then I go to traffic source, then you're going to see here the same exact thing. Now, the reason that this is helpful for you is it lets you know where the views are coming from. And here, I'll just actually just change this to like lifetime. So if you know where the views are coming from, it can, one, help you look for problem areas, right? To where here we see that, this particular video got a lot of views from YouTube search. So it didn't do that great when it comes to browse features. And that tells me that when this was shown to people on home pages, they just didn't, respond, at least over the last year, or yeah, when I uploaded, they just didn't respond as well. But because it was optimized for search, because that was kind of like the whole vibe for the channel. In that particular case, there was a lot of people that ended up finding this in YouTube search. But this is also really important when it comes to this particular graph, because if you look over here, you have the impressions click-through rate, and it shows it to you per the traffic source. So then if you go into the quick view analytics and you see a high traffic rate, sometimes like you don't want to use that, because sometimes, it can be high coming from your channel page, and that can offset what it is that you see. And you might think that your click-through rate is good, when in reality it's not. It's just being kind of offset by the people that are hitting your channel page and then clicking into the video from there. So when it comes to home pages, if we click into here, and we wait for the internet to get this thing rocking here.
Yep, let's go. On internet.
Okay, so I'll just back out since the other page loaded faster.
Mine loaded really slow too, and
did it?
Yeah, I looked at it a little bit.
Here, let me
super slow.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back into it here real quick. Yeah, the whole thing is like moving slow here. All right, so here, let's do this again. Okay, so basically, if you click into the browse features, then in that case, it's going to show you home pages specifically. So then when you look at home pages, you can say, okay, well, what is my click-through rate like on home pages? And what is my click-through rate on suggested videos? What is it like in search? And if you're targeting search, and that's where you're trying to get views from, then in that case, looking at how long people are watching for and looking at your click-through from search is really important, compared to the impressions that you're getting. If you're trying to get traffic from or views from home pages and suggested videos, then looking at that and seeing how people are responding there is also really important. So when you're looking at these numbers, of course, you always want to take in the amount of impressions. So here for home pages, out of 20,000 impressions, I'm at a 1.3. That's horrible, absolutely horrible. So because of that and knowing that information, then if I was, still working on this channel, I would go in and I would update that thumbnail. I might make some adjustments to the title. Like now that I, am more, knowledgeable about YouTube, then I would make some adjustments here in order to try to help this video have a better performance, because I can see exactly where it's underperforming, right? Now, another thing that can be really helpful in this report is for those of you that share your content to like Reddit or Facebook or any of those places. Let's see if it'll load this. But basically, when you click into that external option, then you can also see, and you can sort by the date range also, but you can see like, okay, when I share this out to Facebook, then for the people that do click on it and they come in and start watching the video, how long are they watching the video for? And then if you find that people are just hitting the video and then leaving real quick, then that tells you wherever it is that you're sharing it, if you're getting that bad response. Here we go. Then you can see, I wonder if I have any Facebook in here. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So right here we have Facebook, and the people that came in from Facebook gave 2 minutes and 14 seconds for an average view duration for those little 25 people that came in. But still, I would be like, okay, that's okay, right? Because that gets me past the 30 seconds at least. So those groups that I might have shared this in, or other people might have shared this in, they're at least watching for, a little bit. And then when it comes to Google, you can see how long people are staying around there. But like any place that you share it, it'll give you that information as well to kind of help you gauge, like, am I wasting my time by going to these other places and sharing my content in these other places? Because some people will have like Facebook groups and they'll share in the Facebook groups, and then they'll look into that information and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, when somebody goes in to watch the video, they're actually not sticking around. So I'm actually kind of working against myself by wasting my time there when I could be doing, other things. So. But yeah, that's what traffic sources are, and you can really get a lot of information out of that and just kind of help you look for problem areas and help you know how people are responding from what places, so that it can just help you fine-tune things for those particular traffic sources, or in some cases make adjustments to what it is that you've done. So for example, just to keep going on this for just one more minute, like let's say you publish something and you're trying to get views from home pages. In that particular case, if you find that your packaging is completely underperforming there, then the move isn't to quickly rush in and just change it for the sake of changing it, but you want to sit back and you're like, okay, why is this not performing well on home pages? So if I were to see this just show up on my home feed, or a stranger did, and they had no idea what was going on in this video, what does this packaging tell them? If they didn't have the title, what does my thumbnail by itself tell them, right? And you start to just kind of unpack the video and start thinking like, okay, is there anything that I'm doing to this that might be limiting the exposure that I'm getting here, in terms of, like we were talking about earlier, making it kind of too niche, or, for too niche of an audience to where I might need to broaden it up more, so that if it's shown on a bunch of different home pages, I'm increasing the likelihood of the amount of people that it's being shown to being a good candidate for this video, because it's widened up. This is another example of why it's also good to think about these things before you make the video itself. But if you've already made the video, you can also, sometimes, change things for the positive as well.
I love this. Unapologetically, Sensei says, talking about libraries and how the book spines in the libraries, they don't have thumbnails. So they were doing a comparison between, we're talking about TVs with no thumbnails. It'd be like walking through rows at a library.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, that's good.
If you don't know what you're looking for in a library, you just kind of wander aimlessly through the library.
Yeah,
using the Dewey Decimal System to try to figure out where your book is.
Yep. Right? Wow, man. Do you remember? I don't even think I'd remember how to use index cards and all that stuff now.
No.
Yeah, like sliding the whole drawer open and everything. I don't even know if I would remember how to do that now.
No.
Yeah. I'd have ChatGPT out in video mode. Like, okay, what do I do here?
Right.
Right.
That would be hilarious. Somebody make this video. Take teenagers
to the library,
into the public library.
Set them loose.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. Do kids still have libraries at school? Do they still teach them how to use it? Probably.
I have no idea, dude. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah, so maybe that's not maybe the kids will nail it.
Yeah.
Take adults.
Yeah.
Take 40, 50, 60-year-old adults
See
into a library.
Remember. Yeah.
See if they still remember how to
Muscle memory might kick in, though, when you're like in the environment. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what it is? You'll walk in and a smell will hit you. That library's got a smell.
Good.
But that paper smell, that book smell, right? That smell will hit you, and you'll be like Pepe Le Pew, right? When he gets hit by the perfume, and you're just kind of drifting.
Floating in.
Yeah, and and you're just, right? Like Neo getting plugged into the Matrix. Right. It all comes rushing back. Yes.
So next question that we have here is from ESL Job Talk. They upload one time per week or more. The type of channels, they help English language learners improve their job opportunities. The goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is it true that I should target making 100 videos to be monetized? I heard that's the average. So some people get monetized in one video. Some people, it takes them, hundreds of videos. So it's all going to be dependent on the skill sets that you brought with you to YouTube. It's going to be dependent on the topics that you talk about. It's going to be dependent on your ability to make thumbnails that help people identify the content about something that they care about clearly and quickly and at a glance. And it's going to come down to your ability to, write titles that will pull people in. And then in addition to that, it's also going to depend, once somebody does click on your video, it's going to depend on how they respond to that video as well. So you have to learn how to come up with good topics, make good thumbnails, titles, and then of course make videos that people will watch for a long enough period of time that you can start collecting watch time from those people that are interacting with the videos. So monetization doesn't come because of scale. Monetization is a reward essentially for getting your content to a level that's competitive enough to meet the requirements on YouTube within that 365-day period. Within any 365-day period, because you gotta maintain the watch hours in order to stay monetized.
Diane worked in a library for 17 years.
Yep.
She's going to get you through the Dewey Decimal System.
Perfect.
And this made me laugh harder than it should have. We need to hire an adult that owns a kid. And pay the library, right? We need to hire an adult that doesn't have a kid. We need to hire an adult that owns a kid.
All right. So let's see here. It says I just went. Nope, that wasn't it. That's good, D. Yeah, so Home Rapid Repair says the vast majority of new creators that start never reach monetization. They quit and or life changes. Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
You know, like some people, like they'll start a YouTube channel and they will have these expectations about, you know, hey, I'm going to publish a video and then it's just going to get lots of views because that's how things work on YouTube. But in reality, that's just not the normal experience. Like sometimes that does happen, but it's not the regular experience or the normal experience that people have. A lot of times people will start channels and the videos like take a while before they start getting traction because the creator learns over time, right? They're like, oh, okay, well, I notice when I do these things that, you know, people respond better to my videos, or when I talk about these specific things, people respond better, that kind of stuff. And then they kind of cater things around how people are responding to the content. Card catalog, that's what it's called.
The card catalog.
Yep. Yeah, it's been so long, I forgot what it was even called.
Yeah.
Yep.
Congratulations, Brent. He says I monetized my second channel this week.
Nice. Congratulations to you. High five.
Okay, that's crazy. So I went to my local library to get some books, and they don't have the card catalog anymore. What do you use? I guess it's all on a pad or
Machine
something.
somewhere. Yeah, it's probably an iPad or a computer or something.
Yeah, what are you looking for? And you just like type it in, and it goes and gets a robot goes to the aisle, gets the book, and retrieves it. Yeah.
Exceptional Indie Games, they upload one time per week or more. Really quick. So you were just talking about how the robot goes and gets them, and it triggered this in my brain.
Yeah.
So last night I watched Back to the Future #2.
Okay.
It's hilarious to what they thought 2015 was going to be like.
Right.
Yeah. So they were probably exaggerating it, but yeah, like flying cars and like all this crazy stuff. Yeah, it was just great. Okay, but anyway, Exceptional Indie Games.
We didn't hit the mark.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah,
not even close.
Yeah.
Exceptional Indie Games, they upload one time per week or more. The type of channel is showcasing indie games that would otherwise go unnoticed. The goal is to teach others. The question is, recently I doubled down on publishing multiple videos about the ongoing Stream Summer Sale, 5 in a week, but that is not a pace that I can keep up outside of the event. Do occasional bursts of content like this have a positive or negative effect on how the algorithm treats your channel? So, everything is going to be dependent on how people are interacting with that content that you publish. So here's what I mean by that in detail. So if you publish a video and I go and I watch that video and I'm like, wow, this is really good. And then you publish another video and that video, maybe because I watched the other one, is like, oh, okay, they already talked about this, so I'm not going to watch this video. Or for whatever reason, that video is I'm not interested in. And I don't click on that one. And then you publish another one and I don't click on that one. You publish another one, I don't click on that one. You publish another one and I don't click on that one. Then what's going to happen is YouTube is going to start to notice the pattern, and it's going to notice it quickly. It's going to be like, oh, okay, so they watched that one video, they enjoyed it, they subscribed to the channel, but now, you know, the system's trying to show that person videos and they're just not responding. So if this keeps happening, then we're just going to stop recommending the videos to those people. So you'll see all the time on YouTube to where people will complain like, hey, my subscribers are saying they're not seeing my videos. Well, it's because you've made some decisions that have made it to where they haven't clicked on your videos. And then YouTube's like, oh, hey, guess what? We're going to stop showing them to those people because they're not responding to them when we show them to them. Instead, we're going to show them content that they are responding to more. And that's where it can cause a problem. So it's not like an algorithm problem per se. It's more that if you are publishing content that that is causing people not to come back to the channel, then that just tells YouTube that they're not into what you're doing. Backroads Nomad official. Yep, I agree. Thanks for the message there about hitting the like button.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Or you can just smash the whole page.
Smash the whole page.
Yep.
Smash it all.
Yep. So next up, we've got, and really quick, Steph, work less and live more says, would you, and by the way, if anybody has questions, put them down in the form that is down in the description. But it says, would you recommend posting once a day to kick off a channel? No. And the reason I wouldn't is because when you publish a video, if you are focused on publishing but not on improving what it is that you're doing, if you publish a video and people don't respond well to it, and then you publish another one and they don't respond well to it, and you publish another one and they don't respond well to it, then it's not going to benefit you in any way to just keep publishing. So because of that, you want to publish, see how people respond. If you have any information whatsoever coming in from the video, then in that case, take that information and use it to try to make the next video better. If you have like a really low view count, then that's the moment where you sit back and you're like, okay, if this were to show up on a homepage or this were to show up in suggested videos, why would somebody click on this? Why would somebody that's interested in this subject click on this? Is there anything that I'm doing with this thumbnail to make it easy for people to identify it? Is it big enough to where they can identify it? Is the title compelling? Is it informative? Is there like this whole thing that I've put together here from the outside? Is it clear what's going on here to where if somebody that's interested in this saw it, that it would be of interest to them and they'd want to click on it versus they would pass it up and go watch another video that they're being recommended. And then from there, the actual video content itself. So if you have people interacting with your video in any way, then you're going to get an audience retention report. That audience retention report is going to tell you, like, are people leaving the video when they first come in? Are they watching for a while? Things like that. But if you're doing all of those things correctly, then that video is probably going to get some views. But if you're not, then that tells you that you need to kind of check it out and then kind of analyze what's going on and then make decisions around that. So because of that, don't get paralyzed by overanalyzing everything. Like stay in motion, but instead of publishing every day for the sake of publishing, look at it like, okay, I'm going to publish and then I'm going to see how people respond. Then I'm going to publish and see how people respond. There's other things that you can do where you just go ahead and publish. Like if you're just starting the channel, you don't have any videos on it, to where you can publish like 3 videos just to get started. And you just kind of hope that people respond well to those videos. And the reason that you publish more than one is so that if people come and they start interacting with the content and they enjoy it, that they have additional content that they can go and watch as well. And then that starts telling YouTube like, hey, people are really into this, and then that's where like everything can really start kicking in if you do that well when you first start the channel.
So let's talk about that for a second. Let's say someone has no content on their channel,
okay,
and you want to upload 3 videos,
all right,
to give them a second, possibly even a third video to watch. Yep. Give the viewer something else to watch if they like the creator. How far apart would you just go 1, 2, 3 minutes apart?
Yeah, just publish them all. Yep.
Publish them all, 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Because you don't have an audience yet.
Right.
Publish all 3. Link them all together through
playlists
and end cards and all the stuff, and let YouTube figure it out from there.
Yep.
Just make sure that they have something else to watch.
Yeah.
Deloise book series says, I post 15 videos a week.
Nice.
No one watches my channel. Bad thumbnails.
Yeah, so like in that case, right? Like you can just keep posting, but if nobody's watching, just the act of posting doesn't cause YouTube to perform any differently in terms of like favoring you in any way. Everything on YouTube is based on response. So it's like, okay, how do people respond when we show this to them? And then if they do click on it, then how do people respond once they're in the video? Like that's all that matters, right? It doesn't matter how often you publish how often you publish, can impact things. But in terms of like, if you're publishing 15 videos a week and none of them are getting any activity,
you need to change
then in that case, there's something that probably needs to change.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would slow it down. If you're publishing 15...
Slow it down, be more intentional.
Yeah, I would slow it down, be more intentional, rethink what I'm doing. I would look at people in your niche who are doing what you are doing and are succeeding. And I would say, what are they doing that I'm not?
Yeah.
Is it, how are they crafting their titles? How are they making their thumbnails? What are they doing within the first 15 seconds of the video? What are they doing within the first 30 seconds of the video?
Yeah.
How are they ending the videos? How long are the videos? Look at the people who are succeeding and try to figure out if you can do those things, because they figured it out.
Nobody will use it, but I should make like a free extension.
Yeah.
That all it is, like, how in the channel review tool, how I have the comparison stuff?
Yeah.
To where all it is that. To where it's just like compare thumbnails, compare videos. That's it. So then that way, like you can open up your video and their video, you can open up their thumbnail and your thumbnail, and then you can just look at it and be like, okay, like what am I doing, or what are they doing that I'm not doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because something's not connecting. It could be how you're writing your titles. There's something that you're doing. If you're uploading that much and you're not getting any response, you are doing something.
Yeah.
That's not working.
Yeah.
So if you want to grow your channel, you're going to have to figure out what that is. So slow it down. Be more intentional about what you post less. Post a lot. I would cut that in half.
Yeah. If nobody's watching the videos.
Yeah, if nobody's watching the videos.
If people are like watching the videos and like, they're loving what you're doing, then in that particular case, that's where you have the green light, right? Because now it's like, okay, what's the tolerance? If I have the capacity to publish 15 videos a week, then in that case, if people are responding to 15 videos a week, then, how long can I keep this up for? And then that's where you like really, start grinding it out, so to speak.
So
if
Diane,
you choose to.
Diane says, what if my problem is my personality on lives? We should bring her on. Your personality is probably not the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes, like when it comes to live streams are a little bit more challenging anyway. And the reason that live streams are a little bit more challenging than video content is because you are doing things on the fly and people just enter in random places in your live stream.
Yeah.
So like when you have a video, there's a clear beginning point, middle point, and end point. When it comes to a live stream, somebody might come in the middle. They might come in halfway between the beginning and the middle. They might come in, like all these weird places during the live stream. And if they come in, they might not have any context to like, okay, like what are they even talking about here? And then they might leave just because nobody's caught them up on what it is that you're talking about. So because of that, I wouldn't necessarily look at it as your personality. I would just look at it through the nature of live streaming, because live streams are a little bit more challenging when it comes to just growth in general. You can do it, but it's just a little bit more challenging, and a lot of the activity that you get initially before people are like, oh yeah, I want to start participating in that. A lot of the activity will come on the replay as well from the live streams.
Yeah, it takes a while with live streams. If you've just started live streaming on your channel, it can take a while to kind of build that momentum up. And it can take you a while to be really comfortable to where you're not thinking, because right now you're thinking about your personality. It probably has nothing to do with your personality. Yep. It could be the topics that you're choosing to talk about. It could be the speed in which you were speaking to the audience or not speaking. It could be you have bad audio. You could be have a crazy humming sound in the background from a fan blowing on your microphone. There are a million reasons why people might not hang out on your live stream, and personalities are usually not the reason. Yeah. I mean, as long as you're in there and you're carrying a conversation, that's enough.
Yeah, so it looks like a lot of what you're doing is art related. So because of that, somebody can really come into your live stream, at least for what I'm seeing on the autoplay when I hover over it. Like this one's like a 5-hour live stream, so I'm guessing you took people through this whole thing of painting. I'm not sure what you're talking about, or if you're even talking, in these live streams.
Master Study Mondays.
But when you are, doing these live streams, like the subject matter, might be, of interest. But one thing that I can see here, just at a quick glance, and again, I'm only taking this from what I'm seeing on the hover, but it looks like this one where you did the Master Study Monday. This particular one looks like it did okay in comparison to some of the other ones. And then this one right here on the oil pastels, quick still life beginner demonstration. So one thing to think about is where you have this beginner demonstration, right? So I'm going to pull this up here real quick, Dee, just because I want to show this to her, just to...
Tommy, I see your super chat. We'll get to you here in a bit.
Let's see here. Yeah, so like this right here, right, where you have the life beginner demonstration, right, the still life beginner demonstration. So if you are painting, right, one thing that is huge on YouTube is educational content. So if you are telling people what you're doing or explaining what you're doing as you're doing it and explaining what goes into it and things like that, then one thing that might be helpful for you to at least experiment with and see if it works. And I'm only saying this because I saw this here on the beginner demonstration live tutorial, is framing the live stream around showing people how to paint. And then by doing that, the value from the outside of it is crystal clear, right? So it's like, still life painting, oil pastel, still life painting for beginners. And then when you do something like that, then it's just more clear from the outside what it is that somebody might get from this, compared to live flip through master study, sketchbook studies, oil painting, paint. So this one, just from a readability standpoint, that one's a little bit challenging. But basically just framing things around, even when you actually go in to do the live stream itself, just framing it around. Today we're going to be, going through this so that even on the replay, somebody can come in and be like, oh, okay, this is exactly what they're doing. It's clear from the outside. She's telling me that this is what we're going to get. And then she starts the process and goes through it. That might also help you on the replay as well. But yeah, I would just kind of work on the framing there because it looks like, I know
There's some monster live streams.
Yeah, it is like a 5-hour live stream. Like, that's serious.
Yeah.
But it's good though. Like, people, got 104 views on that one. So, it's done better than some of these other ones. But what you're doing in terms of showing the paint on here, and then also showing the art that you're doing and things like that, like you've got that part sorted. But I would work on the framing and the perception of the value that somebody might get from this content when they see it presented to them on home pages and suggested videos. Any additional thoughts there, D?
No, I agree.
Want to take this down? Okay.
Yep, I agree. Take it down.
Tommy Stig Social Club, thanks for the super chat, says, do we get better growth with live or pre-recorded? It depends. Like, like I know people that have blown up their channels on mostly live streams. I know, more people that have blown up their channels on video content. But, depending on the subject matter, if you're talking about trending topics or, anything pop culture related, then in that particular case, you're giving yourself a really good opportunity when it comes to live streams. If you're hopping on trends and, that sort of thing, and you're just on top of it, because then you can become the resource for those types of things. So if you are going to lean into that, then trying to be on trends. And even if you're in the gaming world, right, like trying to be like, like let's say you play Fortnite, then in that case, when they have like big updates and that sort of thing, like, if you need to stay up late that night or whatever the thing is,
be one of the first,
right, just being like, hey, I'm going to be there as soon as this drops. And then that way, you're going to be one of the handful of videos. I mean, there's going to be a lot in that particular case, but you're going to be one of those handful compared to all of the other content that's available in video format about Fortnite. So then it just gives you that opportunity to ride trends when there's not a lot of inventory on the topic, when people are actively interested in that new thing and there's just not a lot of content to show about, on it.
I mean, there's channels, we talked about this before, there's channels out there that, and I absolutely love that there are just normal people doing, or they have weather.
I guess everybody's normal people.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, they have like legs and arms and eyes and
heads,
normal people.
Yeah,
just like us.
Okay,
they're doing
like human people.
Like human people.
Okay.
They don't have the tails.
Okay.
All right, not big ones,
Mm.
but they're doing weather channels, like homemade weather channels, and they're just absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I love that we all have access to this thing. Whatever it is, I mean, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, but we all have access to just put our thing on the internet, whatever, however crazy it is.
Yeah.
To the point where just regular people, human,
that weather guy that you're talking
people,
about. Yeah, he's huge. He'll get like thousands and thousands and thousands of people in a stream.
Right, but he's like breaking news. But that's my point. It made me think of it. He's doing breaking news. This area is about to experience a storm.
Yeah.
Right. They're getting floods, storms, tornadoes, whatever it is. But it's always breaking news. He's always the one to break that stuff, and people go there.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that we can just do anything on the internet.
Yeah, me too. Well, not anything. There's rules, D.
Within reason, there are websites, but there's the dark web, I suppose. But no, places like YouTube, like it doesn't matter how weird your thing is or how bizarre. Like, you get to make your thing and put it up there.
Yeah,
that's cool. But back to your point, like if you're first, or if you've already built a community around you, I mean, a lot of the gamers and stuff go live, and IRL streamers. Yeah, that's all they do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's going to depend.
Yeah. So Off the Shelf Rides is the next channel here. They upload one time per week or more. They do automotive reviews. And the question is, been watching for 4 years. Thanks for all the help. I just passed 9,000 subs. Congratulations. And in my niche, I've noticed that my channel lives and dies by the content or the vehicle. My impressions go out slowly. CTR stoats low and climbs. And the views the same. I feel there might be other niches that work the same and may discourage people or scare them into changing thumbnails and titles too quickly. Feel free to show and use my channel as a tutorial, and I would appreciate any constructive criticism. So one thing that I would encourage you to do, if your click-through rate is climbing, and if your content is automotive reviews and it lives and dies by the vehicle, I bet that you're getting a lot of search traffic, and that's why your stats increase versus decrease. So when it comes to search traffic, that is a relatively normal pattern. So if your cars are things that people are actively searching for, and then it causes your click-through rate to rise when you're showing up in search because you're not competing with as many videos there, then in that case, you're only getting impression when somebody's actively looking for it, which by default is going to improve the likelihood of somebody clicking on the video. So in that particular case, then you can have your stats rise. So I recommend that you do go and you look in your traffic sources report just to see, if that's what's happening, since you are getting that rise. Sometimes channels do get a rise, but if it's happening consistently, it's probably because of that. But yeah, in a situation like yours where you're talking about all the different cars and things like that, absolutely, you are going to, be impacted by the vehicle, especially if you are getting, search traffic, because then it's going to be down to people looking for the vehicle. However, if you wanted to get more recommendation traffic, in that particular case, one thing that you might want to consider is here you have like driving the 2025 Acura ADX spec. Is it worth it? Like, that's okay, right? That's okay when it comes to the title, but trying to make it a little bit more, I can't believe Acura, or I got a chance to drive Acura's new car or something like that, where you're just not being as specific on the model and things like that. Like, I got the opportunity to drive Acura's new, sports, whatever this thing is, here's a review, or, things that you should know about it, that kind of stuff, to make it more just kind of interesting when it comes to recommendations, so that people don't have to necessarily search for it. Because the thing that you do have working against you is, because you are talking about a bunch of different cars, then you have all of those qualifiers for people to be interested in each individual video that you publish. So if you're trying to get more recommendations, if you're cool with like search traffic, it's fine. That's perfectly okay. But if you are trying to open it up a little bit more, then in that case, trying to make it to where they're just a little bit more enticing when it comes to home pages would be the move there.
Chatty Cathy says, normal people versus meteorologists. Yeah. I mean, if you believe in big meteorologists, you never know what they're selling.
Yeah, big weather.
Big weather.
Yeah,
you never know what big weather is trying to push on you. If you can believe them.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Ryan Hall. Yeah, he's one of the guys. Ryan Hall, y'all. Yeah, he's fantastic. But like hundreds of thousands of views sometimes on his streams. Yeah, live streams. Yep. Just insane. Yep. Absolutely insane.
That's good.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got Explore Norway. They upload one time per week or more. They do travel advice Norway content. The goal is to teach others. And the question is, I see that my next biggest competitor is posting the this video over and over again on his Facebook page with barely any reaction, like 10 likes each. I don't think that's a good strategy. Am I correct? I doubt any people actually click on the links, and Facebook actively don't push posts containing external links. Facebook is not my jam. I'm the wrong person to talk to about Facebook, so I have no idea when it comes to people, posting stuff on Facebook. So I've heard the same thing in terms of if you put a link in a, actual post there, that it kind of suppresses the reach on that post. I've heard the same thing, but I don't know for a fact, that it's true. So I have no idea when it comes to that.
No idea.
Do you know anything about that, D? With Facebook?
I know nothing.
You don't even use Facebook anymore, do you?
No, my account had the phone number thing, and I couldn't log in, and I was like, you know what? Like, I have always despised Facebook. So not like, no. Right. I'm looking for a reason not to go into Facebook.
Okay. So Fishcamp TV,
LinkedIn, Facebook.
Yeah. I think LinkedIn is okay sometimes, but the thing that I don't like about it is I just don't. It's just clunky. Like, it just doesn't have like a good flow to it. Like, yes, it has a feed, but it doesn't have just like a good flow to it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of LinkedIn.
Yeah. I never got into Facebook. I don't like it.
So next up, we've got Fishcamp TV. They do bi-weekly content. They have a fishing education channel. And the question is, it says, I finally got my community tab update, and the first person has already posted pics to my community page. Couldn't have done it without your help. Andy, thank you so much. Also found the blog link written by the YouTube dev to thank for it, Whitney Taylor. And then they have the link to it. And it says, my question, any generic ideas on how to get people to engage with the community? In your case, because you're doing fishing, have your community post their biggest catch. Because you know how people take those types of photos, be like, hey, anytime you get a big catch, Like, let's just fill my entire feed with, the biggest catches that you have, or the
Biggest
weekend
catches.
catch. Like, if you go over the weekend, have it to where, people are sharing like their weekend catches, something like that.
Best
Anything
catches,
like that where people can flex because they like sharing those
best
photos.
places to fish, best bait. Yeah. Have them share.
This is for the community feed, like images and stuff they can post.
Right, they can post. Oh, I use this.
Yeah, sure.
I caught the biggest carp of my life. This is what I use. There's a picture of it. Look at this little fella.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't fish.
No.
Yeah, sharing, fish stories.
Right.
Like, that's kind of a thing, isn't it? Like fish stories.
I have no idea.
I don't know. That's what I've
That's
heard.
not my thing either.
Yeah. If it is a thing, then you guys can compare fish.
Yep. You can even do a contest where you feature the biggest fish of the week or the month on at the very end of your video or something like that. Like if you're trying to really lean into the community thing,
let them share.
Or just have a tiny segment in your video to where this particular user or this particular viewer, he shared this picture in here, and I just want to give him a high five for catching that, or whatever the thing is. But yeah, you could have like a community member of the week essentially in there.
Yeah, I mean, you can have people just share their stuff, like share their tools, share their fishing rigs, share their boats. What are you guys doing there? Scale Train thing says, I bet D's the type of guy who gets AARP cards. Wait, am I old enough for AARP yet?
Hey,
how old do you have to be for that?
One thing also, just really quick, if you are going to use photos from your feed in your videos to give them credit, make sure you hit them up first. Like, try to send them an email or, at them somewhere or something like that to try to, just make sure that you can get some permission to use that. So, Fantasy Chick is our next channel here. She does video essays for geeks. The goal is to be a full-time content creator, and the question is, what kind of things should I do for my membership to make it worth signing up for? I already put my videos up early there, but I don't know what else to do. Let's see here. So you could do things to where you have like members-only live streams. You can have a members-only community. It's a Facebook group or Discord or anywhere else that you wanted to, create that. So basically her content is, I'm just going to read it directly from the About Me page. Intriguing, insightful, and sometimes controversial video essays for your inner nerd by your friendly neighborhood filmmaker. So that's it. So basically she's doing video essays on movies.
Video essays on movies. She wants to build community.
Yep. So like this one here, it looks like she's showing members the videos before they go live on the YouTube channel, which is something that you absolutely can do. But if you did want to lean more into it, then yeah, you could do live streams where you talk about movies just for members only, to where everybody can kind of meet up, and talk about the thing that you guys all care about. And you could also do, like off-site groups as well for people.
Yeah, I'd love to be part of a movie group. We can
That's
talk
right
about
up your alley.
Yeah, we talk about movie. Hey, what did you think about this? What, I don't know. I didn't understand this part. They should have killed that person off.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'd be interested in something like that. Just talking about what you like to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? You said they make videos for geeks.
Yes.
Yeah. Just, get a bunch of geeks together and talk about geek stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about your movies.
English Fun Zone says Discord is confusing. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Discord either. I use it and I'm in there, and we have a Discord, but it's not my favorite platform either.
I've tried multiple times.
I get more familiar with it the more I use it, but it's not that the mobile app is actually better for me than the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too much. Yeah, it's too much.
I think having the chat, because it's kind of like a Wild West for the chat.
Yeah.
I think having that like threaded would be better. So that, I don't even know how they could do that in like a live chat room, but basically having the chat to where you could be like, okay, these conversations are kind of together in some way.
Yeah.
Like that'd be great. They have that for the questions and area part, to where you can do that sort of thing. But when it comes to like the main feed, it's just kind of messy. So if you're not checking in all the time, you can miss entire things.
Yeah.
You just kind of show up and you're like, oh, great. Now I got to go kind of read through and figure out what's going on in here. So next up on the list, we've got Drift Off to History. Uploads every other day. Been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do AI history documentaries. The goal is to be a full-time content creator. And the question is...
Didn't we have them up last week?
I think so, yeah. They're the Sleep
familiar.
Channel.
Yep. Okay, that's right.
Similar channels to mine often do the narrated documentary and then follow by 30 minutes of sound effects like fire sounds or rain for people to relax to. Do you think I should do the same? I'm aware that some people may stop watching when the narration is finished and affect their retention. And then P.S. my talking mid-roll ads off, or taking mid-roll ads off like you suggested, has halved the revenue, but getting more positive feedback, longer retention rates, and more subscribers. Thanks. Nice. So when it comes to the let's see here, going back up here to the top. Oh yeah, to adding the sound effects at the end. You can do stuff like that, but that's where experimentation would come in. So if other people are getting good results from doing that, basically what it sounds like is happening is you are doing the documentary part, and then if somebody's kind of faded off to sleep, then you kind of fade that out into some type of consistent sound effects like fire or rain or something like that, so that they can just kind of continue to be asleep and all of that for another 30 minutes or so. So I think that it's definitely worth experimenting with if other people who make content like yours are having success by doing that. Because, with what it is that you do, because it is for sleep, it's not something where somebody's going to be like glued to it and watching the whole thing. So because of that, they might have tried that and people might have responded well to it, which might be why they continue to do it. So it's definitely something that maybe you might not want to commit to, but maybe you want to put out, a couple of videos with that just to see how people respond to it. And then if you find that they don't respond to it, then what you can do is you can go into YouTube's editor, and then you can just go and cut that part off. And then that way you just don't have that anymore if you find that people are just not responding well to it.
Brent just said he loves ASMR historian.
I
didn't even know that was a thing.
9-hour history lessons to sleep to.
What? Yeah, I didn't know that. The medieval world, 9 hours of medieval history.
Wow.
What?
Watch Time City.
Okay, yep, I'm going to check that out.
Next up, we've got our big Italian adventure. They upload when they have time. It's a travel channel. The question is, how do we find an editor? Editing is bogging us down, and lots of on-camera plus lots of B-roll and graphics. Great question. So first, let me see how big your channel is here, just so I can see if you have like a community in here or not. Okay, 23,000. So the very first place that I would look is I would look within your community and just let people know, make a community post and say, hey, we're looking for an editor. You can go to Google Forms, and in Google Forms, you can fill out all the questions that you need and ask them in that Google form their editing experience, links to other videos that they've edited or to their portfolio. Ask them about their availability, pricing, like all that good stuff, and just have them fill that out, and then you go and look at their portfolios and see if anybody is a good fit for you, just to see if you have anybody in your community. And the reason that one is a win is because they're already familiar with your brand, they're already familiar with how you do your content, because they're watching your content, right? So they know what you're doing, and then they don't have to kind of be trained up or brought up to speed on what it is that you're doing. So that's a good place to start. And then after that, you have places like Upwork.com. You have onlinejobs.ph if you wanted to hire somebody from the Philippines. You have a place called Brickwork, which is a place where you can hire people from India as well. And yeah, those are all great places to start. You also have, if you want to hire like a professional, somebody that is like, worked with other content creators and all that stuff, to where they're not somebody that just cuts videos, but they understand YouTube, then in that case, there's a service called ytjobs.com. And those editors over there are like vetted by the people that have that service, and they have to come in with portfolios of creators that they've worked with in order to be able to post there. So those people are often a good fit too, but you usually pay more at YT Jobs than you would pay on Upwork or something like that, because of the experience with YouTube. Yeah, Doug just put the link in here to ytjobs.co, or if you go to ytjobs.com, it's going to redirect there as well. Next up, we've got the Traveling Who's. The Traveling Who's, they've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. The type of channel is to share our travel and vacation experiences. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, are channels that showcase something for hours profitable? How? Says, think you'll log videos as well as walking, driving, and train tours. Yeah, they can be. So the channel that we just were talking about was a sleep channel. And what they do is they make long videos for people to sleep to. So with those, once you get monetized, people can see ads on the way in. And if you have a lot of people interacting with those videos, because they find you as a good source for that type of content that they enjoy, then yeah, absolutely, you can make money on those channels. So, you know, where you have like walking tours, people driving, train tours, you know, things like that. Yeah, all of those things, as long as people respond well to them, then you can get monetized and you can make money from those. Next, we got Build and Fix with Mooney in the house. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing great. He does DIY content. The goal is to teach others. And the question is, it's regarding titles on long form. I'm getting a better understanding of how to optimize my titles for search, browse, etc. But even when I've done my research on my titles and I use the one I've researched, I feel they are underperforming. I've wrecked videos in the past by changing the title 10 times in the first 3 days. How long should I give a title a chance before changing or tweaking? Because YouTube gives those little data hints to give you suggestions to change your title or thumbnail. So first off, you should be using the title tool that I put out in my new creator app. You can find that pinned at the very top of the chat. And that is going to help you with your titles. So you should definitely be using that. But in addition to that, when it comes to your titles, you should pick it before you make the video, and you should commit to a title. And what I mean by that is YouTube does have, they're talking about releasing a title thumbnail or a title testing tool, just like the A/B testing tool. So you'll be able to run like real tests at that time. But right now, an efficient way to do that doesn't exist. So because of that, just pick a title that you are willing to commit to. And, you know, you've been in the streams enough to where you know the questions to ask in terms of, you know, is my thumbnail going to help people identify it's about something they care about, and so on and so forth. So because of that, I would just sit back and think about it and be like, okay, here's the topic of the video, and how am I representing that topic in terms of the thumbnail and title. And as long as I am satisfied with how I am representing this video, then I'm just going to roll with it for a little bit and just see how people respond to it. And then from there, once you figure out the baselines on your channel, which you may already be working on or you might already know, then in that case, you would use that to see like, hey, are people responding well to this compared to the other videos, you know, that I, you know, compared to what I normally get at a certain time. And if the answer is no, then that's where you might want to consider going and changing if it's massively underperforming. But the thing is, when it comes to committing to a video, though, you know how it is. Sometimes you'll publish a video, and right out of the gate, it's not going to do, you know, that great sometimes. But as more people start finding it and they start watching it for, you know, longer periods of time, and they start clicking on it more, things like that, because YouTube just gets it in front of the right people, those people come in, they're enjoying it, and then, you know, the video can get legs later. So I wouldn't be as obsessed. Like, pay attention, and if something looks really bad, then you might want to change it. But otherwise, what I would do is I would be like, okay, I'm going to commit to this, and then I'm just going to see how people respond to it, and then give it a little bit of time instead of, you know, trying to change it, you know, really fast all the time. Because sometimes your thumbnail and title might be okay, but how people are experiencing the video content, you know, might not be. Or maybe how you've optimized the video, you're going to be more reliant on search traffic instead of home pages, things like that. So there's all these different variables that you have to keep in mind, which is why you should be looking at the traffic sources, but you should also commit to it. And the way that you commit to it is you look at it and you say, for the people I'm trying to reach with this video, do I think they'll respond to this? If yes, why exactly do I think they'll respond well to this thumbnail? Why exactly do I think they'd respond well to this title? And as a combination of the two, why exactly do I think would they respond well to this? And if you can't define that, and you can't say, this is exactly why this thumbnail is going to grab their attention, and this is exactly why this title is going to compel them to click on this, then just keep working on it until you can come up with that. And then once you come up with that, then just commit to it. Next, Country Boardwalk Studios uploads when they have time, but on YouTube for a year or more. They do art journey education content.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
And the question is, so I'm wondering what D is using for his own editing software / app since he's done his last 2 videos on his own YouTube channel. I'm using iMovie presently now. Yeah, so Dee's over there grabbing some more water, so give him just a minute here. When he comes back to this, he will answer that question for you. But I'm going to hop into the next one, and then I'll answer the next one, and then by the time I'm done with this, he should be back in here. So JJ, Lonely Bull in Asia, does bi-weekly content. It's a travel channel, and the goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, I recently watched a YouTube creator channel, and he said that if you're not getting views on your video, look for the dip in the content and edit that part out of your video through an edit mode on your YouTube dashboard. Is that good advice? No, it's not always good advice. Sometimes it can be, but when it comes to that approach, what you're doing is you're giving yourself the opportunity to throw a complete wrench into the viewer experience. So if it's done right and everything lines up with the other things that you've done in the video to where it makes sense to cut that out, like let's say, for example, you have a list video and you're like, okay, number one, blah, 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 and you go through that and just people just are not responding well to that, then in that case, you could cut out that whole section, and besides the number itself, people may or may not even notice that you made that edit. However, if you're telling a story in the video and people aren't responding to that particular part, but if you cut it out, then it's going to just completely destroy the rest of the video and break or lose a bunch of context, then in that case, it can work against you. So this is where, like, you got to, just be really mindful about the advice that you get from people who make content like I do, and think about how it applies to what it is that you're doing. Think about how it applies to the individual video that you might be working on at that time, to where you're considering doing that sort of thing. But sometimes that cutout can work against you, and sometimes it can help the video in terms of helping people watch it for a longer period of time. But the structure has to be right in order to pull that off. So D,
Yep.
What video editor are you using now that you have abandoned or thrown out or kicked to the curb CapCut?
The video that I made talking about the terms of service updates, that was made on CapCut.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, love
Well,
it.
I had to get the video out.
Yeah,
I
know.
wasn't
I
gonna-
know. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's just funny though.
Well, no,
right? Yeah.
the irony of that one, because I'll let them share that one. Like, you guys you want full unrestricted worldwide rights.
Yeah, gonna give you rights on one where you're bad mouthing them.
To share the video where I'm bad mouthing
Right.
you and exposing your terms. Yeah, share that one all day long. You can have that one. I made that. Then I moved over to VN because I actually like VN, and I made a video previously on VN. However, after the next videos, CapCut Alternatives, when I started digging into the terms and services of a lot of the apps, not all of them, and I got to VN, and that one's not much better than CapCut. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm getting rid of VN. I already took it off my phones, but the last one was edited in VN. So now I don't know what I'm going to use. I'll either go to Adventure Resolve, which I looked into.
Did you say there's like an open source thing coming out? What's the word on that?
It's called Open Cut. Yeah, their waiting list is still there.
Oh, okay.
Someone built an open source version of CapCut, is what they're claiming, and it's right now on a wait list. I think it's called like Open Shot or Open Cut. They're on X, but yeah, I'm on the wait list for that. I couldn't get sneak peek access. Right now would have been a great time to get people hyped up and send them over. Yeah, I told him that. I was like, listen, man, I'm in front of a lot of people. I can bring attention to this anyway. Yeah. So I'm either going to go to DaVinci Resolve, or I'm going to go to Final Cut Pro, or I'm going to go to maybe to iMovie even. I don't know. I have not read the terms for Final Cut Pro. I have not read the terms for iMovie yet. I did read them for DaVinci Resolve.
I would guess iMovie and Final Cut would probably be similar since they're both Apple products.
They are, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're trying to get full worldwide rights.
Right. Well, no, I mean the same with each other, not the same with CapCut.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll probably go with one of those. I don't do a lot of intricate editing for my YouTube videos. It's pretty straightforward, so I don't need all the bells and whistles. And I would say that probably counts for 80 or 90% of the YouTubers making content. So yeah, from CapCut to VN, now I'm not sure. I'll let you guys know where I land.
Yeah, Drew S says they switched to Resolve Studio and they can never go back.
Yeah. I've put in Resolve a couple of times over the years, and when I open it up, and I think this is a big thing with video, software in general, if your brain, that's why I ended up with Logic Pro, right, for music. Yeah. Like Cubase and all, like you open up certain pieces of software and they just don't make sense. Like my brain just doesn't work this way. And when I landed on Logic, that's the one. That's it. That's the one I've been looking for. CapCut, Vegas Video was one of those. That's
Yeah.
what I've been looking for. CapCut that's what I've been looking for. I started out on Final Cut. Never really liked it, but I use it. DaVinci Resolve just doesn't work in my head. Like I open it up and I'm just like, my brain just doesn't think this way with the nodes and everything. But I don't know. We'll see. You know, it all comes down to how much effort you put into it.
Sure.
You know, if I brute force through it, maybe. We'll see.
So next up on our list here,
Yeah. That's kind of a long answer, but
we've got Davidson's All Natural Gym. Uploads 1 time per week or more. They do sawmill/homestead content. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what I like. And the question is, banner. Use Chantel's banner overlay. I think I have the TV and phone concept. Yeah, I'll take a look here really quick and just kind of double check that for you.
really quick, if somebody says OpenCut, I don't trust that app either. Okay, so I'm talking about something.
Andrew Can in the house.
Hey, Andrew. It's called OpenCut.app, APP, OpenCut.app. It's an open source video editor that's supposed to be like CapCut. It's not available yet. So right now there's a waiting list. I know there's like OpenShot, OpenCut, Cut Sort. There's a million cut and open different things out there. This one is OpenCut.app. It's desktop only. It's supposed to be a CapCut replacement that's open source, but it's not available to the public yet. I've seen some screenshots and stuff. Looks pretty good, but we'll see.
Yeah, so I'm looking at your channel art here. Looks good. Yeah, so you have farmstead sawmill tractors, all on a limited budget. Everything fits on a mobile device for that like core part, and then you have the extra stuff for the TV view. Everything's clear, you know, for the desktop view as well, all the way across the board. Yep, you got it in there. Yeah, he was talking about Chantel's template, the one that we talked about last week.
Right.
Yeah, great template. If anybody needs to update their channel art, go to chantelhills.com. She's in the chat right now. Go to chantelhills.com and download her template to actually use as the overlay, because it shows you like the TV, you know, information on there and everything. So it's better than the one that Google used to provide that just shows like the mobile and desktop and the TV version. So it's way better. So next up, we've got Knowledge Spark 101. And hey, just a quick reminder, just in case you haven't heard the message yet, or just in case you didn't know this, because I know not everybody comes in here every single weekend. So I put out an app recently called New Creator. You can find it right here. It's an iPhone app. You can also use it on your tablet as well. It's actually a great tablet experience. It will help you manage and grow your channel. It's got a tool in there to check your thumbnails for you and give you feedback on your thumbnails. It has a title tool that will give you title recommendations based on different titling strategies, depending on what it is that you're trying to target with your titles. It has a content planner in there to make sure that you're staying on top of everything. It has a bunch of different checklists in there and a place to store and organize all your video ideas. But you can find it and check it out at newcreator.app, or you can just click the link at the very top of the chat and it'll take you over to the App Store, and you can check it out over there.
So let me jump on this one really quick before we move on to the next one. Chad Garber says, what about the terms of service with CapCut that bugs you? I'll give you one that relates to you since you do music on your channel. If you are using CapCut and you're putting your music into CapCut, if you're doing a cover song or your original music, you are giving them worldwide rights to use your music however they see fit. And there's nothing you can do about it. You are agreeing to their terms. So even if it's an original piece, they can use it. And they don't have to pay you for it. They don't have to credit you for it. Or if it's something that you're doing a cover of, they can use that. They don't know if it's your song or not. But if they use that and they have legal problems for it, you are legally responsible for it. So just focusing on that one little aspect of music, I think it's arguably the absolute worst app musicians could ever use. So that.
Take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's hear. So next up, we've got Knowledge Spark 101. They do daily content, but on YouTube for less than a month. They do education content. The goal is to teach others. And the question is, would just like to get your first impressions as a visitor. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get everybody's first impressions as a visitor here.
Pulling them up?
I think. Let me just do a quick family-friendly check. Okay. Let's see what they're doing here. Just kind of making sure they've got just some bare bones stuff in here. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and pull this up, and we'll just let everybody. So anybody that has any opinions whatsoever on this channel, if it's the thumbnails, the titles, the overall concept, the niche, the chat, like anything, if you have any feedback whatsoever on this channel, go ahead and drop it into the chat. And D,
is this like the speak now or forever hold your peace
Kinda.
at a wedding?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like that. Yeah. It's like, here it is for Knowledge Spark here. So yeah, if you have any feedback whatsoever. So as a first impression,
I almost did that at your wedding.
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
Luckily, I couldn't understand what they were saying.
Or you would have interjected.
Or I may have interjected.
Yeah. So right out of the gate, I'm not crystal clear on what it is that you offer. So you wanted a first impression. So I just landed on your channel page, and I'm not scrolling, right, because I'm trying to get that first impression. So I don't have anything here that gives me a clear and easy to understand idea of what it is that you offer. I know the channel is that Knowledge Spark. And because I already cheated and looked in your About Me page, it says, are you constantly curious? Do you love discovering mind-blowing facts and understanding how things work? That tells me that you're doing something around mind-blowing facts and, telling people how things work, which is fine. But when I land here, I don't see anything about that.
Yeah.
So I would make sure that that's visible somewhere. You have the opportunity to add it right here, but you haven't added that.
You squandered it with emojis.
Yes. Yeah. In this area right here. So I would definitely lose the emojis, and instead
that's such a nice hover.
It is, isn't
it? Yeah.
Instead, it by adding that information here, it gives people the information that they need to know at a glance. In addition to that, if you look at your channel art, I'm guessing you're doing all this on your phone because you can see your channel art is actually cut off on both sides. You have like this dark blue here. I don't know if you can see this, translated through the live stream or not, but in the real view here, the actual channel art stops right here.
Where's your tool for that?
For what? For the channel art?
Yeah,
it's right here. Yeah, it's for the whole thing though. But you can see here how it's just this like small area in the middle, right? So because of that, yeah, I would definitely fill that out. It'll just make everything look a little bit more professional, a little bit more, I don't know if high end's the right word, but that's definitely a thing. So at a first glance, which is what you requested, that's my feedback, and some feedback here from the chat as well is let's go ahead and just kind of scroll up here and look for some feedback. Says I agree, would love some clarity on the topic. Real people in the thumbnail would be better. I don't know if those are AI people or not.
I like that. I teach people things.
We have the title is vague here. No idea what the channel is about. Looks trippy, but don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
First impression. No idea what it's about. Beautiful thumbnail. Yeah. So Weed Gamer TV liked the thumbnail. I think they're trying to be able. Says I think they're trying to be able to use AI. That way they can create AI videos from the videos that we make. What's the topic? So as you can see right here, based on the chat and what we talked about, that it's not it's just not crystal clear what it is that you're doing. So I would definitely work on that. And thanks everyone for participating in that. So next up we've got. Okay, we did Knowledge Spark already. So next up, we got English Fun Zone. English Fun Zone uploads 1 time per week or more. The goal of the channel is to teach others. The question is it true that YouTube is starting to pull channels if there's any content clips from things like news channels and clipping things from videos from other creators and then saying it's under fair use? So no. So what you might be referring to is there have been some people putting out videos based on a policy that YouTube is adding clarity to. And with that particular policy, it is about like reuse content, and reaction videos are like mentioned in there and that kind of thing. But the Team YouTube, actually, I think I I have it in here actually. Yeah, right here. We covered this at the beginning of the stream. But right here, minutes. Right here, Team YouTube, they added some clarity to that and basically said that any channel that would be essentially what they said is that the changes that they're making are more about clarity, and the rules have already been in place for years. And basically, so anybody that would be impacted by that would have been impacted already. So right now they're just adding clarity so people get a better understanding of what's going on. But it seems like people have taken that out of context. And we'll see, you know, through that clarity, there might be some fine tuning that goes on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, based on what Team YouTube said, and that's, you know, coming directly from YouTube, essentially, they said that, you know, everything's already in place that they had. They're just adding some, you know, some clarity to it.
Let's see if Team YouTube knows what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah, we're going to see. Yep.
We're about to find out.
So next up,
We're about to move into the find out portion
right.
Of the question.
Yeah, so here they don't have any information. So the channel's hidden. The link to the channel is just YouTube. Yeah, they don't have any information here, but they do have a question. It says, my question is about people who attempt to cheat on YouTube. I've noticed a YouTuber in my niche suddenly purchasing subscribers, or someone has purchased subs for them. Looking at their social blade, they're getting low single-digit subscribers per day to suddenly get hundreds per day. The growth in subs does not align with the views. Subs suddenly go up in a huge spike, but the views have not changed, and there's no viral moment. It's honestly disappointing to see something so blatantly obvious go unnoticed by YouTube. And does this type of behavior catch up to them? Please give me some motivation words of wisdom so I can stop being salty and move on. First, when it comes to just everything in life, don't even worry about it. Like what somebody else is doing, it doesn't even matter. Like who cares? Right? Like, don't even worry about it. Like if somebody's doing that, yeah, it's probably going to catch up to them. And it's also probably going to work against them as well, because when they're publishing videos, they have like bots and things like that that are just, you know, not going to be responding to the content. And then therefore the videos are going to be less likely to, you know, really go anywhere. So because of that, you know, just to answer your question, yeah, it's probably going to catch up to them. But in terms of just the best thing that I can, you know, say to this is just don't even worry about it. Like it doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
Like I've had situations to where like I was at a conference once, and one of the people at the conference, he was literally standing on stage, and he was coming up on 1 million subscribers, and he was literally standing on stage in front of a bunch of people that don't know anything about YouTube, and he's telling them to buy subscribers and to buy bots and do all these things. And I'm sitting there and I'm appalled, right? Because, you know, I just finished my presentation where I'm talking about, you know, like how to make money and how to use YouTube the right ways and all these other things. And like I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy's sitting here like telling people to basically bot their channels.
Not sitting there, standing on stage.
Right. Like from a place of authority. He's saying this is how you grow a YouTube channel.
Right.
And I was completely appalled. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's literally standing up here admitting this. And I reported that. And his channel's still online. He's crossed, you know, 100,000 subscribers.
Snitches get
but
stitches.
On
man.
stage, he said that he buys subscribers. On stage, he said that he bots his comments in order to make it look like he gets activity on his videos. So when other people do run across him, it looks like more is going on. And in that particular situation, like nothing happened to the channel. Now, that doesn't mean that down the road, you know, maybe once YouTube's system gets a little bit better or something like that, because whatever he's doing, it's happening good enough to where he's able to kind of fly under the radar, even when he was reported. But eventually it's going to catch up to him, right? Like, for example, me, right, seeing him do that on stage, it didn't catch up to him directly on his YouTube channel, but that has lost credibility for him, for me, and anybody that I talk to that, you know, that happens to reference that person. So, you know, it's caught up to him that way. But in terms of the, you know, YouTube punishing him for it or deleting his channel, that has not happened yet. I mean, I don't know. I haven't checked in, you know, I checked in, I think once about a month later just to see if anything happened, and his channel was still online. So they might have taken it down by now. I'm not sure. But when it comes to that type of activity, though, you do not ever want to buy subscribers from your YouTube channel. You never want to buy engagement. You never want to try to game the system. You need to focus. If you want to have a long-term YouTube channel to where this is something that you can do for a while, you want to make sure that you're doing everything organically on the channel so that you can learn how to get people to respond to things. And then when it comes to all the fake engagement and the stuff that other people are doing, just try not to worry about it.
Yeah. So
because it really doesn't matter. It outside of like you're like outside of watching it happen, it really doesn't have any impact on you whatsoever.
Yeah, YouTube will selectively enforce things.
Yeah.
And sometimes they show up a little bit late to handle things. Sometimes they don't show up at all. Mm-hmm. There are certain things that I've seen on YouTube that should not be on YouTube, and I've reported them, and they are surprisingly still on YouTube. Yeah. But, you know, I don't make the rules there, so they get to make those decisions. But another thing to keep in mind is while this person that you are watching right? And you're stealing your own joy, trying to compare yourself to their growth. You also don't know, they might have had one video pop off. Mm-hmm. They could have a single video on their channel that just out of the blue just is getting a lift.
Yeah.
And it could be organic, and they could be getting organic growth coming in. I mean, they could be buying it, or there could be a single video or two videos that YouTube just happened to get with the right audience at the right timing, and all of a sudden these videos are relevant, and off they go.
Yeah.
And that channel's starting to see growth. So that could be happening as well. I wouldn't be so fast to say, haha, they're buying subscribers. I mean, maybe they are.
Yeah.
But unless you have access to their full analytics, you're just assuming.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they are, maybe they're not.
Tango in the Kitchen, super chat came in, says, I noticed I look sideways in talking head videos, but I think I found a way to fix it. Do you have any tips to help me look straight at the camera?
Oh,
yes. Put a note right underneath the camera, like a yellow Post-it note, something that stands out that just says, look here. And then that way, while you're looking at the camera, you're going to see that in your peripheral vision, and then it's going to be a constant reminder to make sure that you're looking at the camera. Any other tips?
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't have to be a note. It could just be a little sliver of tape.
Yeah.
White tape, yellow tape, something. But, you know, a Post-it
Or a
note works
poster board.
Yeah.
Anything, really. Just
Yeah.
anything that'll pull your attention, you know, to the camera. To the camera.
Yeah, a Post-it note underneath it. Look here. You can connect it under the table, or under the table. Put it under the table. That's where it belongs. That's
going to be helpful.
Right. Look at the camera.
Yeah.
Put it under the camera. You might have to experiment with the different types of tape to get it to hold. Gaff tape will work. By the way, if you guys don't have gaff tape, do yourself a favor. Go to Amazon or go to your local store, wherever you can buy gear, and at least get a tiny roll of gaff tape. You can get white or you can get black. I think white's a good one. It doesn't leave sticky residue when you take it off, and it's super adhesive. Professional studios use it. If you need to tape something.
Can I get that locally here?
I don't know. I always order mine.
Oh, okay.
But if you get white, you can write on it with a pen or a Sharpie.
Oh, yeah.
And when you peel it off, there's no adhesives. Gaff
nice.
tape is amazing. That's what professional studios use. Anyway, tape it up underneath your camera, tape it onto your light or your stand, whatever you're connected to, with an arrow pointing up to the lens. Look here. You have to train yourself.
Yep.
You got to train the dragon.
So next up, we have another super chat from Dr. Tachi. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Says, this is such useful advice. Thank you. Our pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the stream, and thank you for the super chat.
I want to hit something really quick here.
Yeah. Go.
Okay. Off the shelf ride says, I use Filmora and I love it. The AI tools help a lot. It's super basic and easy to use. Okay. I have not had a look through Filmora's terms of service yet. I know they messed up big time, and Daniel Battelle made a video about it, and they had to change. So I don't know what they're doing. But I will say this is kind of a warning to everyone using AI tools within these apps. You need to read the terms, because with a lot of these apps, by using the apps that are connecting to their server, they can take your content, and a lot of these terms of service allows them to use your content without paying you, without crediting you, etc. This is kind of the CapCut situation. And when you are specifically using AI tools within these apps, within this software, you are directly connecting to their server. So that server connection is where the danger comes in. So read through the terms of services. If you don't if there's too much legalese, throw it into ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatever AI you want to kind of help you figure out the danger zones with the terms of service with these apps. But just be mindful with AI use in the apps.
Is there any red flags or anything that is more likely to cause that? Like, for example,
it's just all about the terms.
Smoke Shop here says, I stopped using Clipchamp once I realized it was cloud-based. So if you're using something cloud-based, are you increasing your likelihood of them having the rights to it?
It's all the same. So essentially, if you are if they're connecting to their server in any capacity, you're sending the data up there. So it doesn't matter how you're doing it. If you've agreed to allowing them to use your content through the terms of service, if you're connecting to their server in any capacity, that's allowing them to get content.
Okay.
That's why they say, specifically with CapCut, that's why they say, even in their own terms, do not use for confidential content or for user-generated confidential content. They're telling you, don't use this if it has to be confidential. If you're using proprietary content, if there's things, if there's logos that are proprietary, don't use our app for it. Even if it's a draft, don't use it.
I'm curious how much of that is so you don't send it into their AI training.
Probably that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and turn that off. So when you have these apps that are asking you if they can train their AI on your content, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So like these are decisions we have to make as creators. And I would just urge, I went down this rabbit hole to make my last video.
Yeah, I know.
I came out of the rabbit hole looking like, like, you know, I was a mess coming out of that rabbit hole. I was like, oh, I had no idea. I had no idea we're you know, all these people are jacking our content like this. But spend some time, learn about the software and the apps that you're using. Some of them are terrifying. Some of them are fine. Some of them are terrifying. But AI, this comment made me think about it. You're connecting to the server using AI. If their terms allow it, they're taking your content. Up to them if they want to use it or not.
So be aware. Is what you're saying.
Just be aware.
Yep.
Yeah, we're moving into a weird space.
Yeah.
As creators. So you know, another cap that you're going to have to wear is learning how to read through terms.
Yeah.
Before we always used to click. No, whatever. Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, those days are over.
I know. What was it? There was somebody a long time ago. I mean, a couple years ago, that they put like some weird stuff in their terms of service just to see if anybody would flag it, and it took like a year before anybody like sent them an email about it.
Wow.
And it was something crazy, like you give us the rights to your house or like whatever the thing is. Like basically, you were giving up like all of your personal belongings to this company. Like they weren't really going to do it, but they were just doing it to see like if anybody would actually catch it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, we're in a weird spot.
We are,
and it's going to get worse. Like, I'm weirded out by any of the companies, and YouTube is doing it as well, where they're using their AI, they're training their AI on our content.
Yeah,
I'm weirded out by that.
Yeah,
because
if you opt in,
right. If you opt in, training AI on your content, you're essentially training your job replacement.
It could be. Yeah,
I mean, not for everybody.
Yeah.
But you know, you're training them how to speak like you, how to act like you, your mannerisms.
Yeah.
You know. That's kind of an extreme example, but you know where I'm going. You get it.
Grandpa's Random Reviews is our next question. They do daily content. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do product reviews. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, my content is very random Amazon product reviews. No specific product niche. I have daily videos, and currently I'm scheduled out to August 8th. Nice. Would it be better to keep the one daily video, or would it be better to release one in the AM and one in the PM for 2 a day? So if you're doing this for the sake of driving affiliate revenue, and you are doing these review videos as your, like, hey, I'm trying to rank in YouTube search. I'm trying to show up in YouTube search and maybe Google search when people are looking for information on these products. In that case, if you have the capacity to do 2 a day, you could. I'm not sure. Let me look at your channel and see how people are responding to the content right now.
So Ron's trying, well, you're looking that up. Ron, hey, Ron, how you doing, man? He says, if they're training AI on my content, it doesn't speak highly of the future AI. No, but think of it this way. If they are training AI on your content, it's getting better at making model trains.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they're looking at. Right?
So right now I'm looking at your channel, Grandpa, Grandpa's Random Reviews. And it looks like you had one video here recently, actually, that has like a spike of 144 views. But prior to that, over the last 90 days, it looks like most of your videos, with the exception of one that was around 66 views and one that was 53, that you're not getting a lot of activity on the videos at this moment in time right now anyway. So because of that, I would actually... Like, I know you have videos that are scheduled, and that's perfectly fine. But there's actually 2 things that I want to recommend to you. The very first is on your upload schedule. And when it comes to the upload schedule, I think that currently, if you're uploading that much, but you're not getting a response, let's see what your most popular video is. If you're uploading and you're not getting I had one for 28,000, 25,000. So some of these have done okay. Okay, so first I would dig into these and just kind of see how people responded to these, and then start looking for little details. Like, okay, when the video first started, what was I showing? What did I say? How did I greet the viewer when they came in? I would look at the traffic sources in your YouTube analytics for this, and I would say, okay, where did the views come from? Is this something that I just happen to get a lot of search traffic from over the course of the year? I would look for those types of things. And then if that is the case, and if all of your videos are targeted towards search, and some of them are going to land, some of them aren't, then you would accept that, and then you would go from there. But another thing that's kind of like a bigger thing that I want to talk about here is when I look at your channel, I see a lot of you, but I don't see a lot of the products that you're talking about. So this is really important when it comes to doing product reviews and grabbing attention around the products, even when it comes to YouTube search. So if we look at this, and you're looking at this at the size that it's currently in, and let me just kind of zoom in here. So at a large size, we can see we can see Pro Mic, easy to use, and then we have this, small microphone over here, and then you have like a background graphic. So because of your red shirt, you're pulling a lot of attention, and because you're a human, you're pulling a lot of attention. The yellow text up here is pulling a lot of attention. But the thing that actually matters to the people that are going to be interested in this video, this microphone setup over here, and possibly this text, because this text is something that helps them know that it's about that. Those are the things that I would focus on. So one of the things that you see commonly on YouTube is you do see people, I do it, D does it, lots of people, put themselves in the thumbnail on YouTube, and it is a normal thing. But one thing that I would try to do in your case is I would try to experiment with thumbnails, because YouTube has the option to where when you're uploading videos, you can have different thumbnails. So you can say, okay, I'm going to try this thumbnail, I'm going to try this thumbnail, and try this thumbnail, and then it's going to swap them for different viewers, and then you can start to figure out what people respond to better. One thing that I would do is in every video that you publish, and I would even go back through all of these videos and do the same thing. You have the thumbnails as you're making them right now. Keep that. Right? Keep doing that just so you can get real data back on how people are responding. But have this thumbnail, but then also do another thumbnail where you are focused more on the actual mic itself and maybe the text, with you not even in it at all. So then that way the whole thing is about the microphone, and you just have text going across the top or something that says like Pro, easy to use professional microphone or something like that. And then you have the microphone that you have here to where it's just big on the screen, and it is the star of the thumbnail, right? But basically I would go through all of your thumbnails and do that. Like here, I plugged in a 10 gigabyte USB-C, and this happened, and it's a wavelength. So if you look at this as the size that it currently is, then one of the things you're going to see is you don't even see that wavelength, right? You see you, and you see the environment that you're sitting in, but you don't see the product that you're actually trying to bring attention to. So because of that, and this is another one to where if it's big, you can see it a little bit, but I would put a bigger emphasis on this thing. So if we imagine right now that my phone, because this is a small window here, over here on the side. So if we imagine my phone as the object, okay, well, it's big now. So if we imagine the phone as the object and I have it back here, there's that, or I can bring it up here and have that phone as like the main point of focus, right? Like I would be taking that approach.
Better if it's even closer.
Right. So I would be taking that approach to where like, hey, I'm trying to focus on, there you go. Perfect. Like, hey, I'm trying to focus, I'll just put my arm up so it looks like I'm doing it. There we go. So it's like, hey, I'm trying to focus on, on the product, right? I would focus on that so that you can, attract more people that are into these tech pieces that you are trying to work on. So I would do that first off, and then from there, see how people are responding to the videos. And then I would gauge, if you're just trying to get YouTube search, then I would still go in, look at your audience retention, see how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, and make changes if you need to. But the very first place I would start, though, would be the thumbnails, and see if you can just, make it more clear that you are talking about all these products that you're talking about. Do you have any additional feedback on that, D?
No. I no. Getting something close to the camera, I think, is the best. That's always worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah, just filling it up, right?
Yeah.
Filling it up based on the thing that the people that you're trying to reach care about.
Yeah. And just keep in mind, people are scrolling.
Yeah.
Right? People are scrolling a lot, depending on how people are looking at the content. It could be on a TV, it could be on a computer, it could be on a phone. They're scrolling. If you're trying to bring attention to a product, that product needs to get their attention.
Yeah.
Before you. Mm-hmm. You should not be the focus in any way, shape, or form. When we're talking about putting an object closer to the camera, the bigger you put it in your thumbnail, the more identifiable it is to the people you're trying to reach.
Yes.
Just think about it. If you're interested in golf, let's just pick golf, and you're looking for golf balls. A golf ball's tiny. Mm-hmm. Imagine using your same scale the way you're doing it. Maybe you show something on the golf course. Yeah, maybe. But if you're scrolling just from a visual perspective, forget the title, you're just scrolling, and they're recommending your video, and there's a big golf ball right there, and I don't. Within a millisecond, I identify that it's a golf ball. I don't have to think about it. I don't. Oh, it's a golf ball. My brain says golf ball. I identify with that. I might pause and see what your video is about, and then if I'm interested in that, then I'll click in. Same thing with any other product.
Yeah, like if you go and you look at other like tech channels and tech review channels, you'll see the same thing. And in some cases, like we'll say like MKBHD as an example, you know, like he'll be in the thumbnail a lot too because people know who he is. And in a lot of cases, he's more popular than the product that he's showing. But, you know, right now I would just focus on making sure that that product is front and center because that's the thing that you're selling.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a weird thing that happens. You know, we're interested in other humans, and sometimes, you know, the expressions that people make will get our attention. But a weird thing happens to where, like you said with Marquez Brownlee, he's so popular that people will watch him
just because it's him.
Because it's him, regardless of the product. So it makes sense when he puts himself in the product. But you got
to get to that point.
But you have to get to that point. So at this particular stage, where nobody, well, I'm going to say nobody, but the majority of the audience,
new viewers at scale,
new viewers at scale don't necessarily know who you are yet, which is even more important that you focus on the product. You're a backseat to the product. But as you gain popularity, people will start recognizing you. Go, oh, I like this guy. I like this guy. I like his reviews. So I want to hear what he has to say. At that point, maybe you can kind of balance things a little bit differently. But right now, focus on the product completely. Daniel Mattel in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Daniel Mattel.
My brain says golf ball. Would be a cool band name.
Hold on.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear it.
Oh, you know what? It might have it might have already played through that part.
Did it?
Yeah, here I'll play it again.
Daniel
Does it play?
Mattel.
Do you hear it?
I think so.
All right.
I think that came through.
Yeah, Daniel Mattel, what's going on, dude? Hope you are doing great. Nice to see you in here. He says my brain says golf ball would be a cool band name.
Daniel, I mentioned you in my last two videos. I stole one of his videos. So
I'm
Daniel,
surprised.
when you log into your content match tool, and it was like, it's going to say D. Nimmin, 2% of his video. Daniel Mattel. All I'm asking is just...
Get him, Daniel. Get him. Get him.
But I put a link to your channel, and I told him to go subscribe to you.
Six Shop says, tried adding myself to thumbnails. It was fun, but wasn't a net negative or positive. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes, it does. But like when it comes to product reviews specifically, you want to focus on the product. Same thing when it comes to food. You want to focus on the food. Like, those are the things that, you're using that stuff as bait, essentially, to introduce yourself to people. But you're also using it to help people identify that, like, oh, this video is about something that I might be interested in.
So Chantel says, strike.
Yep.
It's a little disturbing how fast this community turns on me.
I know, it is, right?
I ran a poll on my channel.
He says he's already gotten 2 calls from his attorney, and now he knows why.
There you go.
Yep.
I ran a poll in my community feed, and it was if you had to vote one of us off the island, would it be me or you?
Oh, okay.
It wasn't even a fair fight.
They'd wanted me off?
No, I was gone.
On your channel?
On my channel.
No way. I got to go see this.
Yeah, I'll share it.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
I'll share. Yep. You can share it. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I don't. Hold on. Okay, posts. Here we go. Okay, I see the avoid restrictions for live streaming for the young folks.
Here it is. I'm sharing it right now.
I don't even see it.
It's because, hold on. Right, it's right here. Look.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, you canceled it. Did you cancel it?
No, I didn't.
How weird. Okay, let me try it again. How weird.
Yeah, it is. You're at 62%.
You thought I was joking?
Oh yeah,
here we go. Here we go. Ready? Why is it not showing? There it is.
It's just slow, is all it is.
There you go. Look at that. One of us gets voted off the island. Nick or D.
That's great.
62% of my audience voted to vote me off the island.
Oh, that's great.
62% of my audience voted me off the island.
That's great.
That's
Yep, they turn on you quick.
They turn on you quick.
You are not kidding.
Yeah. One day they're asking for help. The next day
They're like, hey, let's burn him at the stake.
Yeah. We could use his shoes, can't we? Yeah.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. I guess his flesh tastes good if we're hungry enough.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're like, okay, well, if we're going to vote him off the island, like, we could probably eat Nick easier.
Yeah.
Because D sounds like he's more like hands-on and might be able to build stuff to protect himself, where like Nick is just vulnerable and out in the wild.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe. I don't know.
They're looking at me as like an easier target. Maybe that's why they're trying to get you off the
to
get you off the island.
Maybe they're just trying to save me.
Could be.
They're like,
Could be
hey,
like, hey, let's get you out of here. Like somebody's going to speak for all of us and tell the story of what happened on this island.
Somebody has to
tell. So D, you got to be the guy.
Somebody has to tell the world what happened here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be you, D.
Yeah.
Nick, we're going to eat. We're going to eat.
Yeah,
Nick.
we're eating Nick. Yeah.
we're going to eat Nick over the weekend. Oh. Yeah.
All right. So next up we have Yo Boy Maldi. Yo Boy Maldi uploads when they have time. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do a Pokemon channel, and the goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, I love making Pokemon content, and I plan on making it often and consistently, but I also want to make content about other games, like reviews, deep dives, and streaming them. For instance, would I just post that stuff on my Pokemon channel, or would I make a whole new channel for the other games, etc.? It wouldn't be a channel about another game specifically, just other games in general that I love to play. So here's what I recommend that you think about. Is if you're trying to grow a Pokemon channel, then in that case, the content that goes on that channel needs to be something that people who are interested in Pokemon are interested in, which would be Pokemon related things. So if you are trying to make like a variety channel or something like that, then that's where you would just do a bunch of stuff like you're talking about. But if you are specifically trying to grow a Pokemon channel, which you said that you have a Pokemon channel, then in that case, I would make sure that on that channel, that it's Pokemon content that goes to that channel, and that every video that you publish there has something to do with Pokemon in some way. And then when it comes to the other things that you want to do for the gaming channel, I would start a gaming channel if you have the bandwidth to do it, and do all of that stuff over on that gaming channel, and then just kind of run them side by side and say, okay, do people respond better to this Pokemon channel? They respond better to this one. Which one do I enjoy doing more? And just try to use that as your guide on what to do next. But if you are trying to grow a Pokemon channel, then make it a Pokemon channel. Would be my thoughts on that. So next up on our list here, we've got Life with Ricky.
Ricky wouldn't vote me off the island.
I bet Ricky would.
Nah.
Yeah.
Me and Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky,
tight.
I think was the first vote in there. Where he's, oh yeah, D. Definitely D.
I don't have to think about it.
So how many times per week? They upload one time per week or more. Been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do sketch comedy. The goal is to have fun. And the question is, when you upload a short and add another video into the related video section, is it better to link to long form videos or another short form video that is a part of the playlist? It's best to link the video on your channel that makes the most sense for the viewer that's watching that short. So when it comes to YouTube, there's like all of the fun stuff that you can do in terms of like using your end screens and info cards and pin playlists and playlists in general, the related video link and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what you got to think about is what's best, because everything on YouTube revolves around the viewer, right? So thinking about what is best for the people that are watching this video right now. So with this short that I made, do I have a longer video that would be a perfect next watch for the people that are in the short shelf watching this video? If so, then that might be the thing that you want to link. But if you don't have something that's perfect for them, then in that case, maybe you do want to link it to another short in that particular case. Because the whole thing is just about making it for the viewer and making that path easy for them, so that based on their preferences, that you're able to send them to whatever makes the most sense for them. Now, you can try to get people over into long form content, which is what a lot of people do when it comes to YouTube Shorts. And sometimes, you can get people over there. But one thing that I do recommend is also thinking about the short itself. So if you have a short and it's like a 16-second short, and then you're trying to send somebody over like a 15-minute video, they might have just enjoyed that 16-minute short, and then that might be enough for them. Or that might have been something where they're like, oh, this is really good. I wonder if there's going to be more funny stuff over on the YouTube channel since you're doing skits and comedy sketches. I wonder if there's going to be more funny stuff over on the YouTube channel, and then you would link, over to one of those videos. But again, it's more about just being relevant to what it is that they care about. Same exact thing goes when you're adding links in your video description to other content. Same thing goes to the in-screen videos that you're linking to on long-form videos. Same thing goes to pinned comments, all of that stuff. Anything that you're using to send people to other content, you got to think. I mean, you don't have to, but it's strategic to think, okay, if somebody's watching this video, these are likely the things that they care about. Therefore, what do I have on my channel that would be a logical next step for this person to take? And then you want to point them in that direction to just make it easier for them to discover that additional content. And Daniel Batal right here, he says, who is a YouTube strategist, he says, does asking a viewer who's watching and enjoying shorts to stop watching shorts make sense? Which is another question to ask yourself as well. Yeah. Kind of like the concept of if I'm, watching shorts, I'm probably into that short form content mode right now. Therefore, you can kind of respect that. Or, depending on the viewer and the content, because you can make shorts up to 3 minutes now. So if you do have something longer and, you have a deeper dive, on your, as long form, you can take that approach if you want to. But yeah, just always considering the viewer is the move. David Matney, what's going on? Hey, man, I responded to your Facebook post in the members group, by the way. So I took he was basically wondering, he was looking at a YouTube video and he saw the links showing up in the video description that go to like the videos tab, the About Me tab, and was asking about those links. And you do have those on your channel, David. So next up, we've got Barabbas Ball. They do daily content. It's a Christian channel. The goal is to teach others. And the question is, what are some tools to help build an online community you can sell merch to? So in terms of merch tools, things that can help you with merch, you have Spreadshop, you have Fourth Wall, you have Redbubble. But when it comes to YouTube directly, things that you can connect to, you have Fourth Wall, you have Spreadshop. Teespring is another one. Yeah, so, starting with something that you can, connect directly to the YouTube channel would be a win. Shopify. And if you mean, and Shopify, if you wanted to, do that whole thing.
That's kind of the most difficult way to sell merch.
It's complicated, yeah. But in terms of helping you build an online community, YouTube has all that stuff built in. You can also use platforms like Discord and Facebook and those types of places to create groups of people to where, hey, this group is interested in these specific things, and then use your YouTube channel to spread awareness about those things. You can absolutely do that as well. And then when it comes to selling merch to them, keep in mind when it comes to merch, yes, without question, you can sell merch. But when it comes to merch, in a lot of cases, unless you have large viewership on all of your videos, it's challenging to generate a sustainable income if you're not getting a lot of views from YouTube merch. And not just getting a lot of views, but you're getting a lot of views from people that are like really, really into what it is that you're doing enough that they would go check out those merch links. Ed, what's going on, man? So for this, if you are on Facebook and you are interested in joining the Facebook group, go here, right here on the screen. Go to nimanvip.com. It's going to redirect you to the members only Facebook group. Just fill out the information there on the way in. Like, I know you, so I'll know it's you. So you're going to be good there, but still just put those notes in there. And then I will get you in there after the stream is complete. And also, we have a Discord too. So I'm not sure if you're on Discord or not, but if you are, then as long as you are connected to Discord with the same account that you are connected to the YouTube channel with, then the group will pop up inside of Discord. And just a heads up for anybody that is a channel member, in my opinion, Discord, if you have questions and things like that, like like if you're trying to get feedback, celebrating milestones, like that kind of stuff, the Facebook group's really great for that. But when it comes to questions, like, hey, I have this problem I'm trying to solve, or this question that I'm trying to find an answer to, in my opinion, I think Discord is the best place for that, because in the questions area there, everything is threaded. So when you have that question, then as soon as I open it on my app, I can see that, and I can go in directly and answer those questions. And other people, will go in and answer those questions too. But it's all threaded, so it's just a lot more organized that way. Let's see here. Next up on the list. Next up, D, we've got Dusty Fingers, RC. They upload when they have time. Been on YouTube for a year or more. They do vintage and scale RC cars, buggies, and trucks. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, YouTube recently asked me if I wanted to share my channel stats with advertisers or companies who might want to sponsor. At least that's how I remember the message. I'm not sure how I feel about that. What are your thoughts? Yeah, so I think that is something, a box that you should check. And the reason that I think that is because if your content and your demographics and the other things that they share with them are in alignment with what a brand is looking for, that opens you up to, possible additional brand deals and that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that particular thing is a win, because they're not doing anything like malicious with it, right? They're just sharing it so that people can make decisions on if they want to work with you or not. The Real Zay 2K, they upload when they have time, been on YouTube for a year or more. The goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, I'm looking to make a variety gaming challenges, like only using a certain build or beating a certain mod. The challenges would pretty much be the same, but the game would be the biggest change. I know that YouTube works with each individual video, but do you think it may be too much for my viewers? Let me go up here again and see. Okay, you're doing gaming content. Let me see if you've created like a theme of any kind.
Are you pulling them up?
Mm-hmm.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
So yeah, you've already got like 467 videos on your channel.
That's a lot.
So yeah, so you're already, like you've already got a lot of content in total. And yeah, you're uploading. You just started uploading again after a few months of a break, about a 5-month break. You just started uploading again. So if you are going to consistently upload those challenges and all of that stuff, then in that particular case, I think that, hold on, I'm just reading your question again real quick. I'm looking to make variety gaming challenges, like only using certain builds or beating a certain mod. The challenges would be the same, but the game would be would change essentially. Okay, so in that particular case, if you're trying to build it around the challenges, that's fine. But one thing that can be advantageous is people, do get into particular games and things like that. So for example, if you were doing a challenge in GTA, then in that case, people that don't play GTA, but they play Fortnite, they wouldn't watch that video, but they might come in and watch your, Fortnite thing. So because of that, I would just pick like 3 to 5 games and then just have those, each game as a pillar, and then just make sure that you're focusing on those games. I would start with like 3 and then, do the 3 games that you like the most and then try to build communities around those. And the whole idea with that is that you want to be repetitive with the actual game, so that you can keep people coming back that are interested in that game, so that you can start growing communities around, like, okay, so, the first video of the week or the first video of the month is going to be around this game. Second video is going to be around this game. Third video is going to be around this game. Rinse and repeat that, over and over again. And then by doing that, then you'll be able to slowly build a community around that until you get to the point where people are like, man, I love these challenges. I'm going to come in and watch every one, right? But I would definitely experiment with that approach and see how it works out for you.
If you were to start a gaming channel, I know you're a big Fortnite player, but what else do you play before?
Love playing Fortnite.
Besides Fortnite, what
GTA,
are you big on?
Call of Duty, but like the things I've really gotten into is I've gotten into, GTA and Fortnite have been my favorites of all time.
If you were to start a gaming channel today, how would you go about it?
So I would do a lot of live streaming around the big events that happen. Okay. So at GTA, there's not as many big events, so I wouldn't pick that one. But for Fortnite, yeah, I would go for anytime they have a one of their big updates that they do. I would definitely be, if I had to stay up until 6 in the morning, live streaming it, I would. And then as soon as that update came out,
You would live stream during that update.
Yeah, and then basically as soon as that update came out, and I got to kind of preview that and get my content kind of out there from that, or at least put my hat in the ring, so to speak. Then I would also publish lots of videos during that time. So I would go to sleep, wake up, and then start grinding out and publishing videos.
Hammer it out.
Yeah, and I would do that around the major events, and then I would slow down the pace of that publish and just publish like weekly or maybe 2 videos per week after that,
and then ramp it up.
And ramp it up every time they have those big events for those surges in viewership.
Ramp it up for the surges.
Yep. I would also share, just as part of the content strategy, I would have content that I'm putting out for the sake of search. So I would have content that is help content that is search friendly, but also some people probably click on in recommendations, but I would be targeting search with it to help people solve problems in the game, because that's just easy to rely on. And then while I was doing that, then I would also be doing challenges and that sort of thing to try to try to get views off of homepages and suggested.
Interesting. Yep. Good.
Yep.
Good plan.
I would also do a lot of community stuff with that. I think if I had like a dedicated gaming channel, like I'd be like, as part of my membership, probably I would have it to where to where we played squads, and it would be like the first people to come in to the squad or whatever, because you have a 4-person limit. So I would do that kind of stuff with like channel members and all of that to kind of create
cool.
like little teams and stuff like that with it.
Dig it.
Yep.
That was good off the top of your head. Love it.
So next up,
that's why I get voted off the island.
Right
there.
Right.
That's it.
And while all of that was happening, I would be publishing shorts on. If that channel is the only thing I was doing, then I would be publishing shorts also of like I would be recording everything, and then anytime I did something like just like a unimaginable shot, or something like cool happened in the game, then I would clip it and drop it into shorts.
Yep, there you go.
So next up we have Unapologetically Sensei. They upload 1 time per week or more. The type of channel is satirical, political, equality commentary. The goal is to have fun. And the question is, yo, Nick and D.
Yo.
Says, my goal is to test making this a shorts only channel. I've got 3 videos in 9:16 format that actually surpassed my shorts criteria, which placed them in the long form section as horizontal content. Since they fit my theme of social equity and satirical commentary, I've kept them and used long form practices for them. Should I re-edit those 3 videos to make them 16:9, easier to watch along with other long forms, or should I remove them completely? I mean, if the time limit makes them not apply to YouTube Shorts, then I would re-edit them so that they are regular aspect ratio, unless people are really responding to them like they are at a high rate. And then in that case, I would consider doing all of them like the way that people are responding to them. But it's not likely. 39 views, 4 views, and 5. I would redo these so that they are the proper aspect ratio for the type of content.
So questions in there?
Next. Yeah, we do.
All right.
So the Blind Bard is up next. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing great. The goal is to connect with others who like what they like, and they say, how do I stop using filler words during my live streams? I tried pausing and drinking coffee when I'm trying to remember my next point, but it's still challenging. Any actionable steps that I could take? So I use a lot of filler words, and sometimes I'm worse at it than other times. Sometimes I'm really focused on trying to get through a stream without using too many filler words. Other times I'm not paying attention to it at all, and then things just go off the rails, and I'm dropping in a like or a or an or whatever throughout the stream. So when it comes to practicing that, it'll come down to practice and being intentional about it, and being intentional about it every single time. So you might want to have, I don't know if you have any like audio notes or anything like that you listen to before your stream, but if so, I would make audio notes to just remind yourself, okay, we're getting ready to stream, focus on these things and all of that, so that you can kind of coach yourself through just remembering to do those things. There are apps, Dee and I were just talking about this over dinner tonight, but there are apps like, I just downloaded one today, called Orai, Orai. In this particular app, it looks, hold on. Yeah, it looks kind of like this when you first, You can't really see it, but it looks kind of like this when you first put it in. But with this app, the whole thing is for presentations and just communication to help you look for things like that. And it kind of helps you be a better communicator. So I put this in, and I'm going to give it a shot just to see if it helps me with that type of thing, because that is something that I'm currently working on. And I was considering building something for this, but there's already things that are available. So because of that, I'm not going to worry about it. But you might want to look into something like that, or find an app or something that can kind of help coach you through some of those types of things.
Yeah, I guess that's a challenge now. So you're like, oh, I want a tool to do something, and then if somebody already has one, do I build my own?
It is,
right.
Yeah.
Do I build my own and over coffee over the next couple of days,
right.
or do I just use that?
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, like for example, like what Dee's talking about, like this right here, it's like this little sound pad thing that I made. So we have a thing here to where Dee has the sound effects over on that side. So if he steps away for any amount of time and like a super chat comes in, or Daniel Batal comes in, or Roberto comes in, or Brian comes in, I don't have the ability to click any of these buttons. So I spent a few coffees, because I call them coffee projects. And with that, I just kind of build solutions for little problems that I have. So this is actually a pretty awesome sound bank app for Apple. I don't know if I'll ever publish this or not, but you'll know. I'll let you know if I do. But really handy for that, that sort of thing. But I'm doing that with pretty much every problem that I have, to where I'm like, hey, if there's a software solution, is it available? And if not, is it something that I realistically, have the capacity to build? Yeah. And for like little things like this, it's definitely something that that can be fun.
Hey, Renee, how you doing?
Hey, Renee, what's going on, man? Says fun until D took your sound FX clicker away. Yep. I know, right?
Yep.
That's why he gets left at Starbucks all the time, right? So he does that kind of stuff.
That's why they voted me off the island.
That's why they voted him off the island, too, right? So Chad Garber says, what AI do you use for your apps? So I use Cursor for some stuff, and then I use Claude within Cursor. And I will use ChatGPT to help me just kind of plan things and understand like the architecture and go through all of the, positives and negatives of, all of it, and just help me get like a nice strong plan together, and then to help me with the prompt to actually do the initial part of it. And then I'll drop all of that stuff either directly into Claude, and then I'll, start building on it from there, or depending on what it is, I'll drop it into Cursor. Like, for example, I built a little tab opener. It's just like a tab launcher. And what this does is it, here, I'll just show you real quick, actually.
You're going to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll actually be able to see it, but we're going to see.
Not sure.
Okay, so right up here in the top right-hand corner, there's this little thing, and I even put some like branding on it and stuff, because that's just kind of how my brain works. But basically with this, I can say, okay, here's like my AI coding workflow. Here's my app tracking workflow if I'm going in to look at stats. Here is my news, updates. And here's my live stream stuff. So basically what I can do, like we'll say AI coding, and I'm just going to hit this and cross my fingers. So when I hit that, now you can see that I have these tab groups up here at the top, and I have Claude, ChatGPT, YouTube, so I can get some music going, and then a diff checker, which shows me the difference between, one like batch of code compared to another batch of code. And then I put these up here, and then because I use multiple monitors, I can just grab this and just kind of move them around as a group. And I built this. The whole reason that I spent some coffees on this is because when we come in here to live stream, I have this all set up on a stream deck at home, and it's not a problem there. But when we come into live stream here, when it comes setup time and I'm getting ready for the live stream, because I bring my laptop in every time, so I have to like open up all these like windows one by one and like all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, let's just build a solution to kind of speed that up. So that's why I built that one. So that particular thing isn't available yet. Like I don't have that out there. I might put that out there. I'm not sure. Just make it available for others. But it's probably not something that I'm going to like actively maintain, right? So that's like with the little extension stuff that I'm doing. Because because like with all this stuff comes maintenance if you make it public. So if something doesn't work for me, then it's like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't work today. I'll use something else or whatever the thing is. But if you make it public and then it doesn't work for somebody else, then it becomes a problem, right? So I have to be really careful about the stuff that I make public because I only want to put stuff out there that I'm interested in maintaining, right? So when it comes to like my iPhone app, New Creator, I'm super interested in maintaining that and making it the best app for YouTubers. So because of that, no problem making it public and, just working on that a lot, right? But when it comes to, other little like fixing problem extensions and things like that and apps, I'm only going to put them out if I'm going to be willing to work on it.
Yeah, you have to be able to maintain it. Otherwise, you're the bad guy.
Right.
Nick, I downloaded this
on
thing.
Twitter, people, or on X, hey, your thing isn't working, and then I was like, oh, great, I was chilling this weekend, now I got to go in and like work on that thing, right?
Yeah, I get. So we have a Creator Mix for music, passion project, right? We're just here's some stuff just for you guys who want more options. This is not something you spend a lot of time on. Just hey, when I have some extra time, I work on it. So I get emails from time to time. It's really weird. And they'll be like, I need you to cancel my membership. And I'd be like, okay, but just, you can cancel your membership. I need you to confirm that it's and I'll end up going back. Like, I just have to stop replying. I'm like, you're removed. And can you confirm that it's, I'm like, dude, like, I'm just.
This is with Creator Mix?
Yeah. Use the music or don't use the music, dude.
Right.
Like, it's free.
Right.
Just like, you don't need to cancel your account.
It's not even like a membership. You're not getting charged.
Right. It's free. Just stop emailing me. Yeah, I get that. And surprisingly, and I'm not going to throw anybody. Yeah, people are weird. But it happens a lot from a particular location in the world. There's a particular region of the world where it happens.
Where they really want their stuff taken down.
They really want their stuff taken down. And they don't understand. And but it's funny. Well, no, they're not asking is it free. They want to cancel their account.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can just like, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Dude.
Right.
Like, I'm not selling the data, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
but it's so funny, but it's that. It's that exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to like.
Yeah, that's why you got to be like, okay, like, is this something I'm willing to like work on in case of an emergency?
Yeah.
Like some update happens and you got to like spend the next 2 days, like, grinding it out, working on that thing.
Right. Yeah. And then because if it's Europe, they have like GDPR requirements, so you kind of have to deal with it. Right.
Yep.
So it's just like you just try to do like, man, I'm just making some stuff, putting it out there, like use it or don't use it. Don't make it difficult.
Yeah, Lucia and Glenn. So they're different apps for different things. So, so my thumbnail tester, I believe, is better, and my title tool is way better. So you can try it out for free. So it's got a 7-day trial on it. So you can give it a shot, and then you can go in there and mess with it, see the different features in there, because it has a lot of stuff that that vidIQ doesn't even offer. And then the things that I don't have is they have like a keyword explorer and like those types of things. I don't have that. Mine is more about like management and growth versus like keyword research. So so give it a shot, and then you'll see if if there's stuff in there that you like, then then you'll keep using it. If not, then you won't. But I just encourage you to go give it a shot and see if you find value in it.
Yeah, the new title tool is good. Really good.
Thank you. So Renee says, can remove D from Starbucks. Can you confirm that you've removed D from Starbucks? Can you swear a Beskar blood oath beneath the Tatooine moon that you've removed D from Starbucks?
Yeah, I mean, that's what
I
it's
get those emails. Yeah, that's the type of emails I get.
Yeah. It was like, man, just... here's the crazy thing. It's like...
Tatooine blood moon.
Tatooine blood... Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's what some of the emails are like. And it's just like,
love it.
Man, just don't use it. Don't use it. Like,
Me 2 times. Welcome to the Niminati. I just hit the button. I don't know if you have that particular.
Welcome
but
to the
just a heads up to you, go to Nimin VIP if you're interested in joining the Facebook group. That's going to redirect you to the Facebook group, and if you can do that before the stream is over, I can let you in before or as soon as the stream is done. If you are on Discord, as long as you're connected to Discord with the same account that you are a member here, then the group in Discord will show up as well.
Yeah, I had somebody. I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but they were in Europe.
I think you did kind of throw them under the bus.
No,
not by name.
I'm just like, narrowing it down to Europe.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say if it was a he or a she, but we'll call them they, them. They sent a threatening email. It was a threatening email throwing all this European GDPR legal stuff behind their cancel or delete their account on a free service. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, yeah.
So next up,
I just delete the whole thing. How about that? Everybody's gone. I like them apples.
So
Brenda.
we've got him now. Dr.
Brenda
Tachi.
Netherlands. No.
Dr. Tachi is the next channel here. The type of channel is live videos about media, tech, and pop culture news, and a video segment teaching people how to be better with live streams and videos through current media topics. The goal is to be a full-time creator, and the question is, I want to increase views and subs. What can I do better? I grew to my surprise, but I promoted a few videos, and it gave me some visibility. So I will pull up your channel here. Give me just a moment and just kind of take a gander.
Have a good one, Ron. Peace out, he says.
Have a great day, Ron. Okay, so first I'm going to, and I know you said lives. Okay, so right out of the gate.
Do you want me to bring you up?
Yeah, I'm going to here in a second. I'm just kind of seeing what's going on here real quick. Okay, so the very first thing that I recommend that you do is simplify what's going on here for the long form content. Like there's way too much going on here in your thumbnails. So basically you have like be more ER, gatekeeping or guarding, what creators should really share. So like none of this at a glance tells me anything, right? So you have all of this text, there's nothing to focus on. And like, don't worry, like a lot of, I would say most creators have a very similar, thing. But basically when it comes to thumbnails, often less is more.
Yeah.
So with this, there's just so many different things to look at that it doesn't really like thumbnails are meant to grab attention, not meant to explain a bunch of stuff, right? So if you are going to use text in your thumbnails, you want to keep it as minimal as you possibly can. And right now, it looks like you're just using text to fill empty space instead of using text to grab attention or using any imagery whatsoever to grab attention. So because of that, I would just simplify what it is that you're doing with your thumbnails. And here you have Be More ER. I'm not sure what that is. But one thing to make sure that you are thinking about if this is like a branding thing is that for a new viewer that's never interacted with your content before, because I see that you have it up here too, if that isn't clear to them, then that's going to be more confusing. And when people are confused, they're going to be less likely to click or just click on something else. Because remember, this video, when you publish this, it's going to be showing up on homepage feeds. It's going to be, or homepage mobile feeds. It's going to be showing up on grids on TVs. It's going to be showing up on grids on computers. And it's going to be showing up next to a bunch of content that YouTube is predicting that user is also going to be interested in. And because of that, you have to make it to where your thumbnails grab attention and it's just super easy to understand what it might be about at a glance. So the way that you do that is by minimizing all of the stuff that's going on in the thumbnail and having a nice, clear point of focus. So in this example here, you have gatekeeping or guarding, what creators should really care about. This is one to where, you might be, trying to, attract people from, recommendations from this, but this also doesn't give tons of, information about what might be in this particular video. So like, I would definitely work on the titles and be more compelling. Like the branding stuff in your title, it's not going to help you. So I wouldn't even worry about, doing that type of thing by having like the Be More ER in your title. Like I wouldn't even worry about that. It's just taking up space. And you're also, being repetitive there. But basically I would think, okay, if I'm trying to reach creators, then in that case, what imagery could I use that might help a creator identify that this is about, something creator related, right? And you can have yourself in your thumbnail, that's fine, but just make sure that thing that's going to help a creator know it's for them, make sure that is the most, make sure that's the most prominent thing. But yeah, your thumbnails definitely need work. So I'm gonna tell you that. And then when it comes to the titles also, I would spend more time on the title. So, because I see you're doing interviews, so I'm gonna guess that you're doing a show here. So if you're doing a show, then in that particular case, you're probably gonna be talking about a lot of things, but you are gonna have it, focused on, on a topic of some kind. I would try to express that in a way that's more compelling. So what I mean by that is when you are putting together, and I'll just make this bigger so everybody can see it. So when you're putting together your thumbnail and title, remember that they work together as a team to win the click, right? And when it comes to titles, when you're trying to get attention from YouTube's recommendation system, you want to try when possible. Like, you can't always do this, but you want to try when you can. You want to try to make it to where if somebody sees your title, and you don't want to make it overly sensational to where it's clickbait and the person that comes into the video, they're not going to get, the experience that it seems like you're going to provide from the outside. You don't want to go that extreme. But what you do want to do is you want to think about, okay, is there a way that I can package this up to where if somebody sees it on their homepage who is a target viewer of mine, which in your case, it looks like it might be creators. So if it's a content creator sees this on YouTube's homepage, one, what about this is going to help them know that it's for them? Two, what about how this is packaged up in terms of the thumbnail and title is going to make that person feel like they need to watch this now instead of, this is just something that I might catch up on at some other time if it happens to show up on my homepage again, right? So that's what I mean by writing titles that are just more compelling, because you want to try to create that type of experience to where when it shows up, people are like, oh, I wonder what this is. Let me check this out. Or, hey, this seems like a really interesting conversation. Let me check that out.
I just want to mention a couple things graphically. The big, bold, white text that you're using with the drop shadow under it on top of the purple background, big text like that, that just stands out big time. Mm-hmm. I would remove media scope with your live streams and videos, guests, Shawana Kennedy, gatekeeping or guarding video knowledge. I would get rid of all of that stuff and use that big, bold text and take it across horizontally. And just think of 2 or 3 or 4, probably no more than 5 keywords, target words to really focus on there. Yeah. Big, bold text on top of that purple background. If you are going to put text on there, I would get rid of all of that tiny text. It's just taking up space and it's cluttering up your thumbnail.
Yeah, other things you can do too is like, because you are trying to reach content creators, look at my thumbnails, go and look at thumbnails of other people who make, similar types of videos, and look and just kind of pay attention to what it is that we're doing. Yeah. So, like in my case, you'll see that I often put like a YouTube logo in there just because that's something obvious, right? For content creators, because I'm targeting specifically YouTubers, not just creators at scale, but like YouTubers, right? So because of that, I use that YouTube logo because people that are interested in YouTube, publishing to YouTube, all that, that's going to be something that for them is going to be like, oh, okay, like this has something to do with YouTube. I don't know what, but it has something to do with YouTube. So let me explore this to see what it is.
Yeah, less is more when it comes to thumbnails in this situation.
Yeah, Renee here says, screenshot your homepage and Photoshop your thumbnail over one of the spots. Look away, look way back. Which thumbnail did you look at? If not yours, make a better thumbnail and repeat.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, and with that too, like as a part of that, let me show you something else, just because some people don't know that this is here.
I think the color choice, I love the purple on white, the white text and the purple. That I really like that. That stands out.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
So there is a tool inside of TubeSpanner. Yeah, Chantel just said it right here. That's what I was getting ready to show. But there's a tool inside of TubeSpanner, and you can find that at tubespanner.com. But the tool inside of TubeSpanner actually lets you inject thumbnails into YouTube's homepage so that you can get a preview of what they look like. So if you are, just wanting to kind of follow what he mentioned there, that's a great tool to use for that very specific purpose of trying to figure out, what. Hold on, I'm refreshing my thing here. It might be because my thing's on. The extension isn't showing up for some reason.
Yeah, Renee's talking about
the blank test, essentially.
He says, go to the new podcast charts. Look at the thumbnails at the top ranking shows, best performing videos. Try to figure out your version of that or what stands out from that page. Then he goes on to say, you'll probably notice that none of them have more than 3 visual elements. For podcasts, that's usually 1 or 2 faces and a super clickable pull quote.
Yep.
Yeah. Simplicity.
Yeah, less is is usually more.
Simplicity.
Yeah.
And the words that you choose are important. Like you said, it could be like, a couple words from a quote or just, and it's about framing too. Focus.
Focus, yeah.
What would, if you're targeting creators, what would stop a creator scrolling? You're scrolling through there, and just, I think one of them you were talking about gatekeeping, and this is probably too wordy, but a title might be, a reframing the title, are YouTube experts gatekeeping?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And put his picture in there. Twice as much is half as strong. I love that, Renee. YouTube's creator, Lesion.
Yeah, the whole idea though is just to just kind of focus things down. Like he mentioned, like Renee mentioned, using Photoshop to just
Or
see what it
Canva.
might look like.
Yeah.
Using Canva, you can do the same thing. Or TubeSpanner has a tool that you can use for that also. To where with that tool, all you do is just upload it into TubeSpanner, and then you can set it. Like I just tried loading it, but the extension didn't load. But why I have it turned off over here? Oh, duh. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, because it has the little button up top where you can turn it on and off. Yeah, there we go. It's on. So that was total user error. So give me 1 second here. I'll show you.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the stuff, Dr. Tashi, it's trial and error. You put your stuff up there, and you need to see what works, what doesn't work. And I can say for my own channel and all the experience I've had, it's almost always the more simple option. The one that has the least amount of stuff on it, if I do put text, the easiest text to read. The one that stops people scrolling, the one that stands out, the one that's just, like Renee said, you can step back and look, take a step back and look at it even on your phone.
Yeah.
Does that stand out on my phone even? If the answer is yes, with the right color combo, it gets attention.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a do we have donkey sound effects? We need donkey sound effects.
We do need some donkey sound effects. I remember at one time we used some donkey sound effects, and I ended up getting...
Did you get a copyright claim?
No, but I got donkeysounds.com, but it's not... I let it go, though.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to claim a donkey sound.
Nope.
It wouldn't
Okay, now I'm
surprise
trying
me.
to log in, and it's not letting me log in. So, so I'm not going to show that. Okay.
It would not surprise me if somebody tried to claim donkey sounds.
Yeah. They might. They might. But you can probably make those on like Epidemic Sound now or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So next up on our list here, we've got... Hey, also, Doctor, just so you know, too, like everything that we're just talking about, and for everybody in the chat, like this is... Like what we're talking about with the thumbnails and all that, like it's common to, make these, like it seems like a mistake, but, it's really common to be in that position. If you don't come from like a graphic design background and, those types of things, it's really common. So the best thing that you can do is, like Renee mentioned, is going and looking at other things. Like, look at other people who make content like you. Look at the podcast. That's a great, great idea as well. But just looking at other things around the type of content you make and just be like, okay, what are other people doing? What are they focusing on with their imagery? How are they, structuring their titles? Are they, focusing on very specific words in their titles? Are they focused on very specific words in their thumbnails? Are they using text at all in their thumbnails, right? Like just kind of look and see what everybody in your niche that's getting attention, go and look and see what it is that they're doing and compare it to what it is that you're doing. And that can give you a lot of insights on like, oh, okay, I see that they're doing this and I'm doing this. And it can help make things a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got, okay, we did Dr. Tachi already. So next up, we've got Prius Brent Goldie. Oh, I think this is the Prius channel. Been on YouTube for a year or more. They do car camping in a Toyota Prius. The goal is to have fun. And they say, what's your best advice for my click-through rate to improve? I get a lot of impressions, but not a lot of click-through. My last video was only at 3%. So if you get a lot of impressions, then, okay, I see the views. So you're not getting like tons. Let's see here. Prius travel camper, budget DIY Prius camper setup tour. So, okay, so a couple things. One, you're using the same exact thumbnail in two different videos. That can be okay if you are, if you have like a consistent show or something like that you're doing. But really, if you're trying to grow the channel, I would make unique thumbnails for everything. And even if you're doing live streams and stuff, I use templates for my live streams, but these aren't designed to grow the channel. These are more of like a, community thing. So I use that to help people identify that this is happening that are already involved. But when it comes to your content, yeah, I would definitely make sure that you're doing that. Here you have Prius travel camper. That's fine. I would take off the extra text and all that stuff because it doesn't matter. Technically, you don't even need the Prius travel camper on the thumbnail because you also have it set up in your title as well. So, you have budget DIY Prius camper setup tour. I think that's okay in terms of a title. But I would just kind of focus on the, image. And when it comes to the image that you have, I would just make it like a nice, clear, make sure that, the tilt is right. So that, everything is just kind of straight and it looks good. And it's a nice, flattering photo of like you, the car, and the dog. I think that by itself would carry enough weight with that. But keep in mind when it comes to the impressions that you're getting, it's because I see like these last two views, you have 551 views and you have 531 views. So with that, you don't have a lot of data yet on your videos. Like you can make decisions based on that, but you don't have, a lot of information to work with yet. So what I want to tell you is that I think that how you're setting things up here for the most part is okay. But when it comes to the impressions that you're getting on your videos, it's not always just the click-through rate. So for the people that are clicking through, there might be something else going on here that that is causing, people to not respond as well, which then in return would cause, YouTube to not show these to as many more people, at least in the, current state that it's in. They might pick up later. But I would look at the whole entire package, not just the click-through rate, because the problem might not be the thumbnails as much. I mean, you said that the click-through rate is around 3%, which for what it is that you have, I would say that that's low, but your thumbnail is pretty clear. But one thing that I would do is YouTube has the ABC testing tool. So I would upload 3 wildly different thumbnails. So maybe have one to where you have your Prius car like you currently have it, where it's the Prius, you, and the dog. Have one with text on it like you currently have it. And then have like another one that maybe is showing like a view right into the back of it. And make sure you take this photo in the daytime so that there's enough light so everybody can see what's going on. But like maybe like a photo going into the back of it where it shows like your bed or, something like that that's happening. So you're focused more on the camper experience with the imagery than just a photo of the car itself, just so you can see, do people respond better to that or no? I think your titles are okay. But I would, if you're trying to increase your click-through rate, I would be experimenting with that kind of thing. Scrap and Pallet Man, what's up, dude? Hey, I was watching your video the other day. I don't know if you got my comment, but yeah, I think it was yesterday or the day before. YouTube recommended me one of your videos, and it was you trying to get the old lawnmower up into the truck. It was intense. Basically, the whole thing is just him trying to get this mower up into the truck.
Was he stealing it or something?
Well, no. It basically he pulls up and it's like they're like somebody's throwing it out.
Right, somebody threw it out.
Yeah, and
that's
he
what
pulls
I mean.
up to get it.
Sorry, I didn't mean stealing. I mean picking it up.
But it was interesting though because he's got a GoPro up there and it's all pretty much like it feels like it's a constant shot.
It's all POV.
Yeah, it's up here, and he pulls up and he's trying to get this thing, and he's got like this lift on the back of his truck, and the lift is small. So like as it's happening, you're thinking like, oh, there's no way he's going to be able to get this on there, right? So it's like the whole entire experience is like a challenge experience, to where you're like, oh yeah, there's no way, and you're rooting for him, but you're like feeling like he's not going to be able to do it. So then once he like does it, you're like, oh yeah, he got it on there.
He got it on there.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, it's good stuff.
I think it's interesting. I've seen a couple of his videos over the years, and I love that POV shot. It's like pulling up in the truck, going through the stuff, figuring out what's going to go into the back of the truck. It's like it's a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool element to the I don't know what you call it, scrap collecting.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, you're going on a treasure hunt with him. Yeah, it's cool.
So next up, we've got Zach is the name of the channel. They upload 1 time per week or more. Chris, so when it comes to the sharing out YouTube channels, we don't do that on the channel or the Discord. And the reason for that is because sharing channels in that situation doesn't really, it's not really beneficial for the creator, for you in that case, because if the people that are hanging out in that group are not a perfect fit for your content, then they're not going to go watch it, anyway. So because of that, we don't do that. We don't do that type of thing. So the type of channel is a random channel. The goal is to have fun. And the question is, what do you think about people selling their channels for money? So when it comes to that, there are websites that, people do that sort of thing. But there are rules when it comes to YouTube about selling your YouTube channel. So you're allowed to sell it as part of a business, but technically you're not supposed to sell a channel as a standalone. And you can, kind of violate some things with that will cause YouTube to penalize you because of it. So just be mindful of that when it comes to people selling their channels. But If they are selling a company and a channel is attached to that, then it's perfectly okay. And in that scenario, if somebody does have a channel set up for their, or a company set up for their channel and they sell that company, then, people do buy and sell YouTube channels. Like that's a thing that happens. So there's a company called Empire Flippers. In that particular company, they've actually sold some sizable YouTube channels as companies through that particular service. And then there's other, sites, and those were for lots of money. But there's also websites, and I'm not going to mention them because there's also like Empire Flippers is a credible thing, but like it's lots of money, so it's out of reach for most people that are not like business investors. But when it comes to some of the other sites, they're more available for everybody else, but there's a lot of like shady stuff that goes on in those, so I would never mention them during a live stream or recommend them or anything like that. So when it comes to like buying websites or buying like YouTube channels, you got to be like really careful. And really, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even do it. Instead, I would just learn how to start a YouTube channel and learn how to make good content that people respond to, especially in today's world. If it was a bunch of years ago, then maybe it might be advantageous to buy a channel with like a bunch of subscribers on it or something. But these days, it doesn't even matter. Like if you make a good video and you have 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, then if you make a good video and you and me I've got, almost 1 million on mine. And if you and me make a video on the same exact topic and people respond better to your video than my video, then over the next 3 months, you're probably going to get more views on your video than me because people are responding better to yours. Yeah. So because of that, I would have the advantage at the time of publish because YouTube has more information on my channel. I've got, viewers that will come in and watch my stuff. But long term, if you have 1,000 subscribers, you can compete with, everybody else within, reason. Like you're probably not going to, outdo Mr. Beast or anything. But when it comes to, a channel these days, if you learn how to make good content, you don't need to buy a channel. And there's other things too, like sometimes, people do shady stuff to grow the channel so that they can sell it. Yeah. And then you're buying basically damaged goods at that time. So, it can really work against you. And when it comes to shortcuts in general, like just don't even waste your time looking for shortcuts, looking for hacks, looking for like any of those things because 99.9 percent out of 100, you're going to run into more problems and waste more time than it's worth.
You got to learn how to
you gotta learn how to do the thing. Yeah. Yep. You gotta learn how to do the work.
You have to learn how to do the thing.
Yep. You can't not work the work.
You have to learn how to do the thing, if for no other reason, to learn how to identify if the thing you're buying
is even good or not.
Right. Right. If you don't understand it yet and you're trying, and I'm not saying this is the case.
Oh, you're saying it's the case, D.
Yeah. If you don't understand how this works and you're thinking about purchasing a channel to accelerate your place on YouTube and you don't know what to look for, you don't know how to identify if they've grown it organically or if they've just done sub for sub or they've bought their way into this and it's going to fall apart, or they've violated terms that put the channel at risk and the channel might be terminated in 6 months. Like there's certain things that you need to learn before you can even consider something like that. So yeah, you got to learn how to do the thing. No matter what you want to do, you have to learn how to do the thing first.
Yep. And on that note, I do want to let you know, if you are a couple different things. One, if you haven't tried my app yet for new creators, you can give that a shot for yourself and just put it in, see if you like it or not. You can try it at newcreator.app, or I have a link directly to the App Store right at the top of chat right now, so you can go check out the app. I'm making this the best app available for content creators. It's the only app for creators, actually, that is also awesome on an iPad. The other ones will just put the mobile version of the iPad because they're lazy for some reason. But this is great for iPad and iPhone as well. But you can try that at newcreator.app or click the link at the top. Go check it out. It's going to help you with your thumbnails, help you with your titles, help you manage your content, help you manage your video ideas, help you come up with video ideas, all of the stuff that we have to do at the core of being a content creator. So go check that out. But if you are a new content creator, or if you're somebody that is struggling right now, I do want to just remind you, and I say this at the end of every live stream, and the reason I say this is because a lot of people get frustrated when it comes to YouTube and they're publishing videos and they're putting in all this work and they're not seeing anything at the end of it right now. And it can be really discouraging. So I just want to remind you that YouTube is a learning curve, just like anything else that you're going to do, just like playing an instrument, just like starting a new job. You got to learn a bunch of stuff, just like any new hobby that you're going to start, anything that you do. If you're going to do it seriously, there's a lot of stuff that you have to learn and a lot of moving parts that go into it. And it comes with a learning curve. So just embrace like, hey, right now, this is just where I'm at the learning curve. And you're always going to be learning because the stuff is always evolving. But it's like, hey, this is where I'm at in the learning curve right now. And it's not working for me right now, but I'm going to work on the skills related to doing it. I'm not just going to watch a bunch of videos. I'm going to work on actually developing the skills needed to get the results that I'm after, and focus on the skill building side of it, right? Because you can watch a gajillion videos and it'll make you feel like you're doing a lot, but really the thing that's going to move the needle for you the most is application and learning how to do, the things that you need to do in terms of writing titles, making good thumbnails, presenting, coming up with good video ideas, all of that stuff. So hang in there. You got this, D.
Yep, great stream.
Great stream.
Yep.
We will see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Hit the sub button, hit the like button. If you're having fun, comment, type something. If you're laying back, leaning and engage, just take a second to smash the whole page.